back to another edition of 13 Cards Subject to Change. Zach is back this week. We got a bunch of stuff on the show for you this week. Leroy, of course, is always here. I would hope so. It is actually his house that we do this at.
Yes, I do live here, and, well, I kind of want to hide sometimes, but hey.
Well, that's fair. Anyway,
I open door for my friends.
Jesse is back.
Hey, what's going on, everyone?
Jesse has had some free time, and it's always more fun to do the show with multiple people, so it's always a good time to have you on here. And like I said, you're welcome on any time.
For sure. I love being on here, and I love talking wrestling with you guys. Let's hop right into it.
Jesse's also, as I've mentioned many times before, a member of the 13 Card Subject to Change family. We're up to 28 subscribers on YouTube. Let's get that number up there so we can start bringing you guys a bunch more content. And Leroy,
I think we got 107 followers and likes on Facebook.
Fantastic.
Page there, so.
Yep. No, always like to hear that. I've heard that our Spotify numbers are up a little bit here.
A little bit, yeah. They're
Okay.
staying pretty close to the same. We had some good hits all this week.
Okay.
We still have our lovely one download in France. We have that one person in France. I love you.
What if it's Walter? What if it actually is Walter?
That would be great.
What if Walter's just so bored he's downloading a random podcast?
Whoever it is, we love you.
that-
Keep downloading and have more of your friends download.
Oh, please do,
man.
yes.
There's a lot of views, but we have one download, and we got like 20 some odd downloads in the U.S.
Fantastic.
So
Fantastic.
yeah, we're staying strong in the U.S.
Good.
Like
Fantastic.
averaging at least 60, 70 visits a week.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. All right, so anyway, we're going to jump off here with the only big thing that happened last night. Okay, I want to say
Wait
the
a
only
minute.
big thing. There was another show down in Iowa that we'll get to here a little bit later, but it
We
was
had
the main.
Spot Monkey, but yeah,
Well, you know.
whatever. I watched.
I
NXT.
did say. Notice my qualifier in saying the only big thing that happened. But we'll get back to that a little bit later. But last night, NXT Takeover 30 happened.
Yeah,
Hard to
crazy.
believe we've hit 30 NXT Takeovers.
Craziness.
NXT,
That is.
NXT went from a weird ass game show that replaced ECW on Sci-Fi to, and thank God it replaced it on
Yeah,
Sci-Fi.
thank
'cause
God.
God, that
Oh,
was
yeah.
bad.
That was
for
awful.
ECW. But anyway, no, we are in, so 30 takeovers.
Oof.
Last night, I don't know why, but Mauro Ranallo was not on commentary. Corey Graves was brought back. I don't know if that was for a throwback or if Mauro just had some.
I'm guessing maybe maybe something happened with Mauro's schedule.
Yeah,
he
no,
got
well,
sick. You
Probably
never
something
know.
like that.
He's a busy
yeah.
guy. It's impressive. But anyway, so for the first time, was this the first ever NXT Takeover with a pre-show?
I think this is the first one in
believe
months
so.
because I think they did one.
NXT
The last
normally
big
doesn't do a pre-show.
show.
They do a lot of pre-show before the.
Yeah,
before
so
their,
the last one I
pay-per-views.
think there was a takeover before the Royal Rumble, and they did one there,
Okay.
but it didn't really feel like it because it was literally like
Yeah.
minutes before the show.
Yeah.
And then
For those of you wondering, they are back at Full Sail University, which is
Yes.
probably where they're going to be now from the for the foreseeable future due to pandemic reasons. They're probably going to. I mean that's their home. It's what they do.
Yeah.
Full Sail's still not the same without the crowd, but I mean. We are where we are at this point. Although they have the crowd type deal, but
Yeah.
it's a little bit different.
They
I
paid
like
crowd that tell them cheer this, cheer then. You know.
well,
But it works.
Well, but here's the deal. During these times, I feel like you can't fault anyone for trying something. We'll talk about that here in a little bit on the on the main roster. But the thing about it is anyway, NXT Takeover 30 official pay-per-views. I remember the first one like it was yesterday. Fantastic event. I know that there's not really the star power for a 30 that you would have liked, both with travel restrictions and with just the fact that NXT doesn't have the star power that it used to.
And this one didn't really. I mean, probably the best build was the main event, which we'll talk about our feelings on the main event. But it might have been the best build that they had. The rest of them kind of were meh. And then outside of course the Adam Cole Pat McAfee deal, but
We'll get
a
to
lot
that
of it didn't have a lot of strong
Well,
build.
the
So-
North American Championship that
Well-
build up for that one, I thought that was. Great.
I don't know how much you want to say they had build up or they just had so many matches that
Yeah.
referred to it.
Well, it's kind of a build up. You can say that.
Well,
yeah.
no. I mean, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying I don't think it's your typical build up
Yeah.
type situation.
Yeah.
But anyway, the pre-show, as we mentioned, had a triple threat tag team match to determine the number one contender for the NXT Tag Team Champions Imperium, who are still the tag team champions despite that odd match they had with the UE. I know there was a lot of controversy in the fact that they kind of had this big match being told while there was still. I mean, let's be honest. What it was filler to get Adam Cole and Pat McAfee angry at each other.
Yeah.
That's all
Yeah,
it was.
it worked.
It was a tag team title match that was filler.
Which is weird with those two teams.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know who's a babyface or who's a heel anymore. But the thing about it is that everyone wants to look at me and say, "Well, you're the guy that says spot micing does terribly." I'm like, I've never said NXT did it better. I never said that they're 1,000 times better. Yeah. I just know that it's a wrestling program that, in my opinion, it's not made to look schizophrenic, although sometimes it comes off that way. Yeah. My biggest problem with NXT right now is, I've heard this from a lot of people, it just seems like, and again, I know a lot of your people are not in the U.S., a lot of people, all those issues, but it's a very flat show. It's NXT, it's not bad like I think Spot Monkey is, but it's also not super, it's not on another level.
It feels like Triple H, it feels like Paul, like what him and Shawn are trying to do, and I get what they're trying to do, because really with NXT, a lot of what has made them feel so strong is they always felt fresh because they had so much talent.
That's fair.
That they would play with in and out. So yeah, maybe a guy was in the NXT title run for a couple of months, but then he could disappear for 2 months and then come back and actually feel fresh.
Well, it's like, look, I'm not banging on anyone for it being a little bit stale.
Yeah.
Because again, we are in a situation where you had 80-some people that you could throw into a show, and then, Adam Cole could go away for 2-3 weeks, and then the UE could come back. The problem is that all you have is the UE, so you gotta kind of use them until there's
very limited roster for them in NXT right now.
So anyway, the triple threat tag team match was Breezango defeating Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch, and Legado del Fantasma, which was Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza. Nice to see Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch back together.
Yes.
I feel it's a little weird because they had sort of a video package for the two of them at the beginning of, I would say, April or March.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're on separate individual runs. And they
might have to do that for,
Oney
the
Lorcan,
reason, they had to split him for a bit.
Oney Lorcan, don't get me wrong, had a great match with Thatcher.
Oh, absolutely! Just
at the Great
old
American
school
Bash.
kind of match. Great.
We're actually gonna talk about that here in a little bit. We'll come right back to that. But anyway, and then of course Legado del Fantasma. I like that these guys are not really. They're not full-time lackeys. I guess is the best way that I can say it. I mean, they're getting a chance to wrestle. They're getting a chance to possibly bring more gold to Legado del Fantasma. By the way, El Hijo del Fantasma, now known as Santos Escobar, love him.
Absolutely. It reminds me of a mix between almost like Randy back in his heyday, like 2009, but a much better version of Alberto Del Rio.
He is exactly what they wanted Del Rio to be.
Yeah.
He is exactly what they thought they were getting out of Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah.
And they didn't get squat out.
Well, I can't say he didn't get squat. I just think that, and again, I'm not going to bring up his marriage. I'm now ex-marriage. I'm not going to bring up any of his other problems, but I just think that it's another scenario where a lot of stuff was happening on the outside that just made WWE hesitate. Because again, Ziggler doesn't get the big title runs because of his concussion issues.
Yeah.
And Alberto Del Rio didn't get a lot of big runs because there was so much stuff happening on the outside. WWE didn't know if he was going to be there next week.
Yeah.
You can't put a title on a world champion and then have him get arrested.
Well, it's true. Well, he had some issues outside of WWE where that happened. So I totally understand.
But you can't do it. You can't do it anymore.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But no, I mean, look, Breezango won the match. I think they're a good tag team. I think they have a sort of rebirth in NXT because I think there was just not enough time to feature them on SmackDown or Raw.
And then when they were being featured, they were basically a comedy act.
However, there's a difference between forcing someone to do a comedy act and someone doing something that just worked. The Fashion Police worked. I'm sorry.
It did.
They were the best thing backstage for 4 months.
Yeah.
Easily. And I always refer back to the tweet of someone saying that, actually, I don't think it was a random person. I think it was an actual competitor. Tyler Breeze had a short rivalry with this person in NXT when he got back. I just remember someone saying, Tyler Breeze, you're a joke, and he's like, I own 2 houses, I'm 31, and I make money doing what I love, and I own a wrestling school. So I mean, but then again, you also got to remember who trained Tyler Breeze.
Yeah.
One
of the greatest showmen and professional wrestlers of all time.
We're talking about a guy who didn't give a damn about being a comedy act because he made it work for himself.
Absolutely.
For those of you who don't know, we are referring to
I was gonna say Shawn Michaels.
It is Shawn Michaels. Yeah, no.
I thought maybe you were talking about Road Dogg when he officially got to kind of NXT, but yeah, Shawn Michaels, of course.
But that's just my thing. Is just again, Shawn is that guy who I will always beat the book for. Look, he took whatever someone gave him, and if it was a flop, it was a flop. But he still went out there and gave it a shot. And
absolutely.
Maybe a lot of old school people have issues both with Shawn's backstage stuff, but also the fact that maybe he was a little too much of a showman at times. But you can't say the man didn't bring in numbers and wasn't consistent for the entire time.
Like I tell people, you remember most of the big stuff in his career, right? So if you do, then he absolutely accomplished what he went out to accomplish.
So now we get to the actual show.
Yeah.
The opening match, which I think was a good opener.
Yeah.
It was Finn Balor versus Timothy Thatcher. Leroy, have you had a chance to see it yet?
Oh, the pay-per-view last? Oh, yeah, I watched it last night.
So you watched Finn versus Thatcher?
Oh, yeah, I watched it all.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I actually caught it this morning right before the show because I was busy.
I really liked that they allowed Finn to actually show, like, he actually kind of was more of a ground wrestler in New Japan when he first started.
Okay, so this is what I've wanted to say since I saw the match.
Mm-hmm.
It's a match that the average AEW fan would hate, and that's not,
that's probably true.
And that's not me trying to start something with you. What I'm saying is that it wasn't high flying. There wasn't a lot of stunts. It was an old fashioned beatdown.
Yeah.
But here's the difference, and I'm going to compare it later to a match on AEW that we'll talk about in a little bit here.
Okay.
But it was a beatdown match that, by the way, there wasn't a second of this match that I didn't understand what was happening.
True. Very true.
The story is short, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
Finn Balor was screwed by Timothy Thatcher because Finn Balor screwed Timothy Thatcher the first time. Screwed is a different word because it was obviously triple threat rules.
Yeah.
But Timothy Thatcher screwed Finn Balor out of the ladder match. Now there's a match on TakeOver. But I didn't need much. I didn't need much because, again, Thatcher, and by the way, Thatcher is one of the best catch wrestlers I've ever seen. He has counters for counters.
He might be pound for pound the best in the world right now.
And you know what? I don't think you'd be far away from saying that.
Yeah.
Because here's a guy who looks like $1 million. He looks like he could beat your ass down.
Oh yeah.
He's snobby in a good way, and he's a worker.
Oh, yeah.
That's all he is. He's a guy that would have worked in Mid-South, Memphis, the Jim Crockett days. He could have worked anywhere.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And what was really unique, as you were pointing out, they let Finn be sort of a ground guy, is they'll talk about many times the abilities of wrestlers. Like Corey Graves said before the match, Finn Balor is not a slouch when it comes to submissions.
Exactly.
But the match actually showed
it.
that.
Yep.
You got Finn Balor who said, "I'm just going to go to Timothy Thatcher's world." And the way that I described it to actually Thomas Bugg this morning is I told him, go watch this. He's an old school territory guy.
Yeah.
I said this match would fit anywhere. To me, it was take your top catch heel and put him against one of the like Latino or Japanese guy that came into an old school territory.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Finn can fly, but he flew when it was convenient for him. He didn't. Okay, when I say it wasn't AEW, it wasn't 100 miles an hour.
No, it was very...
It hit 60 like 3 times?
It was very well told. They took their time. It was like, I mean, just watching these guys get in and out of each other's submissions, mat-based wrestling, which, you actually don't see a lot anymore, and that's okay. The guys don't really like to do that anymore. That's
going back to what I said about Oni Lorcan versus
because it's that old school, like, technical, like, we're gonna just beat the hell out of each other for 20 minutes.
And again, like I said before, it doesn't fit what everyone thinks AEW and NXT are.
Yeah.
No, it don't.
It fits in your era, Leroy. It fits in when you came on Saturday mornings and you used to watch, WCW or NWA or whoever was on what channel, and this,
mostly WWE back in the day.
Well, yeah. But what I'm saying is that that match would have fit in any era in any company.
Yeah.
Finn could have just been the outside because again, every territory got a Japanese guy.
Yeah.
Every territory got a Latino star to come in once in a while. It wasn't always Flair, Steamboat. It wasn't always the Midnight Express versus the Rock and Roll Express. Once in a while, you had a guy that can speed it up, but you had to make sure he fit with a guy that could keep up. And Timothy Thatcher kept up just fine.
It was a very good match to warm me up to the next one after that. I thought it was really good.
It was a good, and there's always sort of that unwritten rule in wrestling. The first match needs to be very quick, not have a lot of stoppage, and like keep people engaged. This was kind of the opposite, but it worked.
It absolutely
13
worked.
minutes.
Yeah.
That
was 13 and a half minutes. But again, I was engaged. Mm-hmm. I liked it. They told a story.
Yes, they did.
And again, it was just two guys that understood what they had. And again, this proves to me that you can build around Thatcher. You can build around. Look, we already knew.
You know, you can build around Finn as long as he's healthy.
No.
Oh yeah.
Knock on wood. But I mean, it's one of those things where like. Look. I mean, this is probably the longest on this show I've ever stayed on a match where I just said I don't have any complaints because it was just solid. Normally, I just pass over solid matches, but to me, it has to be explained that this match wouldn't have fit on a normal night on any other show.
Absolutely not.
It wouldn't have.
No,
but
it wouldn't
worked.
have. No.
It was two guys where you're asking yourself, okay, do the styles mesh? Well, you found out that Finn is versatile, and you found out that Timothy can just go with just about anybody at this point. So I mean, I don't necessarily know why anyone would hate on it, but again, like I said, I don't think it's the typical AEW car wreck that everybody's tuning in to see.
Or even just like I'll just call it the typical New Age match. It was
fair.
So old school, but so meshed very well. I loved it.
Yeah. Anything more, Leroy? Because like I said, I mean, this is a match that I think you would have tuned into 30 years ago on a Saturday morning cartoon thing, and you would have seen something like that.
Oh yeah, I definitely would have. Yeah, I mean, they did a great job. I mean, I was shocked a little bit the way because I'm used to seeing Finn a little more mobile, a little more more speed. But yeah, he slowed down, and it showed that, goddamn, he is a damn good wrestler.
And it showed that. Again, and this is not a shot at Spot Monkey, but this is a thing when you get in there with a worker who's slower like Thatcher, bring it back a little bit. Finn is a guy that everyone always assumes goes 100 miles an hour, but were you any less entertained with this Finn than you have been any other Finn?
Absolutely.
When he was on Raw or SmackDown or against Seth?
If somebody's a good wrestler, you work with what you have.
Exactly.
And as I said, a lot of times, with Brock, and they're like, oh, he's going to fight a big guy. No, he works better with a little guy.
Yeah.
And I mean, the styles mesh, and it works. I mean, you look at Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero. Rey was smaller, not too much smaller, but their styles were very similar, but it meshed, and it works.
It all comes back it all comes back to that side of wrestling that you can't always teach. I mean, you can learn it over 20 years, but some guys get in the business. Eddie's one of them. Ray's one of them. Finn's obviously one of them. For some reason, they wake up one day and all of a sudden they have 20 years of mental experience.
Yeah.
They just get what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And it doesn't hurt that Finn would clean toilets just to get matches in the dojo with some of the best that New Japan had. I just unbelievable time over there.
You got to do what you got to do, man.
Oh yeah, I totally get that. Number 3 was your NXT North American Championship ladder match. We had Bronson Reed, Mr. Thick Boy. We had Cameron Grimes, who, I'm just going to say it, dude's annoying as hell, but man, do I love to see him on TV.
Like straight to the moon, baby. I love Cameron Grimes.
Okay, here's the deal. He was in Impact for a while. Mm-hmm. I forgot his name.
Trevor something.
Trevor something.
I can't remember the last name.
But he came off as a caveman. He didn't talk a lot.
Yeah.
Impact, I'm sorry. This is not me being pro WWE. You screwed up with this guy.
Everyone said when he left, you let one of the best future talents besides AJ Styles, and we won't talk about that story. But you let one of the best talents that actually could have allowed you to compete with WWE go, but they were known for that back then. But yeah, Cameron Grimes is amazing.
Well, but here's the thing. He was a caveman. He had a manager at one point.
Yeah.
He was a former X Division champion.
Yep.
There were all these things going on, but like, okay, here's the thing that I need people to understand. Cameron Grimes, when he was in Impact, I looked at him and I'm like, okay, the dude can work, but if it doesn't work out in Impact, then hey, go to WWE and maybe they will give you a chance to figure things out.
They'll give him something.
Trevor Lee.
Trevor Lee, thank you. Trevor Lee.
Okay, so
PWG, former PWG World Heavyweight Champion for those who watch Guerrilla Wrestling back in the day.
Pro Wrestling
Guerrilla, thank you.
But anyway, here's a guy, when I watch Trevor Lee, I'm like, all right, dude can work. He's got the look of a caveman. It kind of made sense, but he didn't speak. He gets WWE. He's got basically the same look. He hasn't shaved any of that chest hair. But he gave him a hat and a vest, and the next thing I know, I love to not want to listen to him. but I'm forced to.
He just is like, like a dirty porn star from the 80s and 70s. That's what kind of thing he gives me, but I don't mind that.
No, but
it's kind of a weird thing to say, but hey,
And he can still work too.
Oh yeah, he's really good. Yeah.
And then obviously the last two competitors were Johnny Gargano, who again, I don't want to say that Johnny is devoid of a character, but I do want to say, if he's going to do the Gargano way, I need to see him speak a little more.
I got to be honest before you go into the next two guys. Johnny, I know you and Tommaso. Well, Tommaso for obvious reasons because of his neck. He knows he's on prime time.
Yeah.
If you're not going to go to the main roster, brother, you got to figure out something else because the character is starting to get really, really stale, and it's starting to drag down his wife, who actually I enjoy seeing with the other female wrestlers. It's starting to drag her down a little bit because it's starting to feel like It's almost like when people kind of got sick of John Cena back in 2008.
I can see that
because it's funny because Johnny, he's healed now, so he actually did what John Cena would not do.
Yeah.
But it's just like Johnny, but
they gotta stop. They gotta stop selling merchandise with the picture or actually the video of Johnny in the crowd hyping the people up. It's like, dude, treat him like a heel.
It's getting really stale in NXT, which is why I always thought maybe after one final beat that like, all right, if you're gonna move him up as a heel, now is the time to do it, especially if you're Vince and those guys and a lot of your main. By the way, it's kind of funny if Vince said that because. And I know they have a mixture crowd at the Royal Rumble, but when he competed in the Royal Rumble 2 years ago, he got one of the biggest pops. So I was just like, oh, okay, this is a guy that can move up if they wanted to.
And again, I feel like I don't know if he's believable as a heel.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
We'll go into this a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's a little teaser for a little later in the show. One of my biggest issues on AEW this past Saturday was the way that someone had been presented for the last 4 months. It was totally out of character and nothing made sense. I'll explain later, but that's what I feel Johnny is.
Okay.
You spent 4 years in NXT longer than that with Johnny. He's been the heart and soul. He's been the guy, Johnny Wrestling, and now it's like, well, okay, here's what I wish would happen, and maybe this sounds very Jim Cornette, stuck in the '80s idea, but here's the deal: if he's a heel, he needs a new finisher. If he's a heel, he needs to wrestle as a heel. He needs to cheat more.
I'm about to say the problem with the finisher he has now is just that flip over DDT that he got from Tommaso. So it's the one where he springboards it. But I'm like, well, it's a weird ass finisher because people do it all the time and they don't get pinned on it.
Well, it's not only that, but it's just, again, Seth is the only guy, in my opinion, in the business who can still show shades of Tyler Black, whether he's the evil Seth Rollins or he's the good guy, burn it down Seth Rollins. Seth can get away with it because of how he works and because that's just how. And again, Seth will put things in. Also, Seth is such a nerd for the business that he understands what a heel is supposed to do.
Yeah. Johnny
is still being Johnny Wrestling, but now he's no heart, no soul. I don't get it. You can't. Rey Mysterio can high fly 99 times out of 100 because he's always been a superhero. He's never been a super villain.
Yeah.
Villains cheat. Villains are stiffer. They're not as hard hitting. Oh no, they're harder hitting.
Yeah.
They're not as high flying.
And I mean, in WCW, when they tried to do it with Ray, at that point, he was just mostly a manager with LWO.
Exactly.
So that was like a short 2-month run, which is why certain guys you just don't.
I mean, look, I said before, I've liked where the Gargano way is going, But again, this is my thing with that I've said. I reserve the right to get bored with something.
Yeah.
I got bored with the Young Bucks. I got bored with Kenny Omega, and now I'm bored with the fact that Johnny Gargano is saying, I'm going to change NXT. You can't change it from the mid card, bro.
No, and he's the big one.
And more importantly, if you're going to change it from the mid card, at least be a champion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't make sense. I mean, if he came out and he whined and he cried, okay, basically, first of all, I actually believe Johnny is someone that can beat me up. Whereas when the Bucks try to act all tough, I don't believe it for 5 seconds. I'm sorry, I don't. It's not even
either, but that's okay.
It's not even the tassel. I just don't believe the Bucks are intimidating.
Yeah.
But,
no, they're not very intimidating.
But the
pretty
thing
boys.
But the thing is that I believe in Johnny because first of all, Johnny, look, I'm not sitting here knocking guys for having a non-six pack, but part of your presentation is how you look.
Yeah.
And Johnny looks like, oh my God, there ain't an ounce of fat on this guy.
Yeah.
Johnny looks like he could go run a marathon and without even doing any marathon training, he'd be in better shape than half the field.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. But look, I don't hate Johnny. I think he's great, but
it's time for a character change.
It's not even a character change. Stay with what you have, but it's time for an in-ring style change. Make me hate you, but you keep giving me remnants of Johnny Wrestling, which I don't want if you're a heel. Johnny Wrestling wasn't a heel.
No.
So,
and like I said, the whole character is also starting to drag on his wife, who's involved with this new character.
Oh, she's doing
great.
She's the evil pixie now. She is the poison pixie.
Yeah.
Without it, there's nothing about her.
That's Candice LeRae anymore that you knew. Yeah.
Exactly. She has literally.
Well, like I said, unfortunately for me, when I see her though,
I'm like,
but you're also the same woman who has had but one maybe NXT Women's Titles match, maybe two. You know what I mean? So it's hard. It's hard to take her like. So when they're talking about we're going to change NXT, I'm like, well, for you in the women's division, it's hard to take you seriously because every time you face a champion, you kind of get your butt whipped.
But again, this goes back to presentation.
True.
I hate to say this, but NXT signs guys or gals, and they get to keep their names because they come from a background.
Sometimes they do. Sometimes they change it.
But here's the deal: Candice LeRae was a part of the world's cutest tag team with Joey Ryan, and
when he was still likable, people. That's yeah.
Fair enough. 100%. But anyway.
If that ever was true, I don't know.
But anyway, she comes from a little too much Chikara.
Yeah.
To have a following that's going to
here. Let me preface before you.
Okay.
People, Chikara is cool, but it's a different style, is what he's saying. So don't pile on to that because sometimes
it no longer exists.
Now, but there's still that hardcore fan base that like you say anything bad about Chikara, it's a fight.
We can still pile on Zach. There's more comments. It's more fun.
It's fine with me,
that means more people are listening if they want to bitch about Zach.
Well, and again, I am not against any wrestling company going out of business. You shouldn't be running if Mike Quackenbush has anything to do with it.
That's a great point.
But that's a different story for a different show. But anyway, here's my deal. Candice LeRae has never been, and actually Io Shirai hit on this. We'll talk about it in a little bit here. Io Shirai hit on this with Dakota Kai. Who the hell are you?
Yeah.
Candice LeRae is a very much who the hell are you?
Yeah.
Because you put on consistent match. It's the Tegan Nox syndrome. Everybody gets on me for no pun intended knocking Tegan Nox, but Tegan Nox is a very talented young lady, super special in-ring talent, can do a lot of neat things. Bland as a banana. I get nothing from her.
Yeah, not a whole lot of character there, and it's no good.
Before we get too deep into the conversation,
go
we also had
the Velveteen Dream.
The Velveteen Dream, who is back, and for those of you who are wondering, here's the deal. Triple H said he was out because he had a car accident.
Yep.
The allegations Triple H also addressed, he said, of course we looked into it, and I'm sorry, $1 billion company, unless you're freaking, again, I'll get to Tony Khan here in a second, but unless you're Tony Khan, $1 billion company's not going to put someone with legitimate issues on television. National TV.
Nowadays they will not.
No, God, no. No.
Not nowadays.
But that's my point, is that if these things with Velveteen were legit, if if it led anywhere,
they would. Yeah, you wouldn't.
He wouldn't have been in the match.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So again, I'm not saying he's innocent because I know nothing about the allegations. All I'm saying is that I don't think Vince McMahon is going to risk a. First of all, the guy can't let go at 75 years old. How the hell is he going to risk $1 billion company on a guy that ultimately he could fire Patrick Clark tomorrow and nobody would care? Nobody would care if Patrick Clark was gone. I'm sorry, that's just who you are.
He's got to be a WWE guy through and through.
But anyway, so you had Velveteen Dream. He's in the match. Accept it. Move on. Then you have Damian Priest, formerly Punishment Martinez from Ring of Honor. He's definitely slimmed down from those days. Okay, Damian Priest.
He was the biggest surprise. Not because, spoiler alert, he won the match. But he was the biggest surprise because this was the first time in NXT I'm like, oh yeah, this guy is actually capable of moving like this.
Here's the deal. Damian Priest, and again, I'm not piling on Spot Monkey. He is what AEW wants Luchasaurus to be.
Yes.
Kind of that big punishing guy that can move, but
his kicks make sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. First of all, that dude can get his foot up to his head when he kicks.
Yes, he
Damian
can.
Priest.
Oh my
By the way,
God.
I'm not sure if you guys saw the spot in the match the first time he's reaching for the title. I realized I'm like, damn, this is how tall he is.
Oh yeah.
He was still 3 steps away from the top of the ladder.
He's a big dude. He's a big
I'm
dude.
like, damn, he's big.
But the thing is that I watched Luchasaurus, and Luchasaurus is trying to be a Rey Mysterio luchador, and he's kicking like that. But it's like, dude, don't do low kicks, do high kicks.
Yeah.
Kick a dude's head off. Be a big man. But here's the deal. WWE, whether you like him or not, they're teaching Damian Priest to be a big man who has quick abilities, but he's not doing it the entire match. He's not trying to be a luchador.
Yeah.
He has the ability. He can do a moonsault over the top.
Like, he'll do it if you want that big spot.
But he's not doing it every match.
Yeah, no.
He's not doing it every single time he's out there.
Plus, that's longevity for those guys, too.
Exactly.
Make them
But-
do it all
but-
the time.
I'd like the spot they had to use the ladder.
Yeah.
That was pretty. I was like, what is he? Oh shit! There he goes.
But that's my point.
That was nice.
But that's
That
my
was
point.
pretty cool.
Is that Damian Priest is everything that if Luchasaurus looked at Damian Priest's model, Luchasaurus would be over with
Which
everyone.
it's sad because
No,
I'm like,
definitely.
it's shocking you don't see the side of Luchasaurus that got him over in Lucha Underground more, but we'll get to that later.
Well, they used him as a big man, which is weird because Lucha Underground actually was a place where you had to have Lucha, but yet Luchasaurus was a big man.
He mostly wrestled as a big man in Luchasaurus.
And now he gets the Spot Monkey, and it's like, dude, you're no different than the Bucks. You're just...
Yeah.
You're just the equivalent of both Bucks, is basically what it is.
And one guy.
One stands on the other shoulders. Boom, you got Luchasaurus. But anyway, but no, good match.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've had a lot of good spots
Good
in there.
ladder
And
match.
Velveteen Dream at the end there, he went into another zip code
Yeah.
off that ladder. I was like, what? I'm like, Eben, get in here and watch. And he's like, whoa,
He gone.
yeah.
He gone.
And I'll give. This is where Johnny always wins me back in matches, even though I'm not a fan of the character right now. That bump he took from Bronson Reed, my God!
Hold on. Can we at least preface? It wasn't a bump from Bronson Reed. I say it was more of a bump from his wife who had a large foreign object dropped on him.
But big man kind of falling almost like 200 feet from the top of that ladder and just splashing on him. I'm like, well, if his ribs didn't hurt before, they hurt now.
And Johnny coughing, trying to get air back in his lungs. And I'm like, that's not overselling. The dude probably doesn't have.
He
an ounce
probably
of
could
oxygen
not
left in his
breathe right
lungs.
now. Yeah.
Well, no,
Good God.
I saw his arms come up right before he hit. I'm like, oh, he knew it was coming. He had to brace himself as much as he could.
Because he knows that if he takes that flat chested, he ain't gonna breathe for 2 weeks.
I gotta be honest, and I'm a bigger dude. Is there a way to take a big splash like that from a dude the size of Bronson Reed, though? like
Unless you're
he's
big and
coming
then you
at
can
you,
handle it.
Even then, that's still 300 pounds falling on your chest, bro.
Dead near the heart.
But I think also when Johnny flipped Grimes off and kind of hit that ladder, but he hit the edge of the ladder. I don't think he was trying to do that.
No.
That was just a bad
But it's a ladder
fall.
match.
And, you know, it happens.
But it's a ladder match. There's always one moment in every ladder match you can point to where it's like, well, that didn't work out as planned.
That did not go.
That is something that we did not plan upon.
Like, that had to hurt.
But it's like, look, I feel like, and I'm not blaming the indies because I love ladder matches. I feel like now ladder matches are so done that I'm not going to sit here and pick this apart because it wasn't a bad ladder match.
No.
But it's not a ladder match that I'm going to point to and say, if you want a ladder match, go watch that.
Yeah.
It's not in that category. It's not Shawn versus Razor.
No.
By any means. It just... But, and honestly...
Hell, Edge Jeff Hardy 2008, 2009 before he went to TNA.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's just my point, is just I look at this match. It was a good ladder match. It had some nice spots. I think it would have been better with a full crowd. Maybe I would have gotten more hype to it.
Yeah.
But the thing is that, I mean, again, I don't hate it, but what can I honestly say to you guys that isn't just, hey, it was a good ladder match?
And then, shockingly enough,
You didn't think Damian Priest?
I did not think Damian Priest was good. Well, because I thought Damian Priest... Because my big thing was...
Did you not think it because he was already kind of an established name?
No. I didn't think it because I felt the next move for him, because I get a sense Vince, because my sense of anytime I've seen Vince and Keith Lee now in a backstage videos, Vince is in love with Keith Lee.
How could you not?
So I think Keith Lee is going to be one of the next big stars they push this year. Before the end of the year. And I think that's one of the bigger reasons why he lost tonight. We'll get to that later. But I thought that Damian Priest it was going to be next in line for Karrion Kross. That's what I thought. Well, so I'm a little bit shocked at this.
We'll get to that.
This kind of sets him up for something like that. No, I was pulling for Damian, but I was going. I was like, oh, are they going to do it? I was like, oh my God, are they going to give it to Cameron?
That was my thought. I'm like,
there's
Cameron,
a few spots. I was like, oh my God.
I'm going to be honest though. The only reason why I know it wasn't going to be Cameron is because Beth Phoenix said the only line that I need to hear from a commentator to prove that this person's not winning. She said, "We will hear about this for weeks." And I'm like, right there, I'm like, yep, nope, that ain't going to be on TV.
Straight to the moon.
But anyway, no, it's just for me, I thought they were going to go somewhere else because, A, you had built Bronson Reed up so much.
Yes, they have.
Which, again, I'm not mad that you built
by the way,
up.
before we can even continue to talk about the match, remember, this was technically supposed to be 6, and Dexter Lumis got hurt.
Well, no. It was always 5.
Oh, was it? Okay.
It was always going to be 5, yeah.
No. See, he got hurt, so they canceled the last triple threat, and they made 2 wrestle-in matches. That's why Thatcher and
Thank
Finn
you for the correction. Yeah, because when I was watching last night, I'm like, I was pretty sure Dexter was in.
Because Finn was in a match.
It was him, Johnny Gargano, and Dexter Lumis, and Dexter won, I believe.
Yes, but the reason why Johnny and Finn both got rematches was because they weren't pinned in that match. So, remember, Thatcher wasn't in the match that he screwed Finn out of because Thatcher was the one who tapped out to Dexter Lumis. Yeah. But anyway, but no, I thought, look, I have no issue with Bronson Reed being brought up and finally being given some spotlight. I'm okay with that.
No, he deserves it. He's
awesome. I thought your best option was either Gargano to continue the Gargano way. Mm-hmm. It was Velveteen to maybe have him work his way back into the spotlight.
I gotta be honest, I knew it wasn't going to be Velveteen. It's just too soon. I think it's still too soon, okay. and I think Triple H knows it's too soon.
No, that's entirely fair.
Yeah.
Do we want to move on to what I think everyone will agree was ultimately the match of the night, whether we like it or not?
So I tell you too, when Damian Priest's party afterwards.
Yes.
I enjoyed that with the ladies in the hot tub.
So one of those ladies is Joey Janela's girlfriend.
It is.
People didn't know.
It is. Joey Janela's not single. That was the most surprising thing I heard.
Well, hey, I enjoyed that. I'd be like, would I do that same thing? Oh, hell yes.
I just got to point something out. I honestly think because I don't remember if this was me thinking this or if somebody actually said this from the crowd. Because there's always one or two people in these NXT crowds where they just say something and you're like, good on you, sir. I like you. like I can hear you on TV. But no, somebody said, we're going to get a hot tub. I'm like, damn, dude. Like,
we're going to get a hot tub with a couple chicks and you're going to get there and drink some bubbly. Okay, no problem.
What's the point of the Hummer, though? I mean,
he put his stuff away in there.
You got a locker room for that, man. Like, put your shit in the locker and get outside, man.
But he was leaving.
No, he wasn't. He was going to the hot tub.
Well, after the hot tub, he would have went home with hopefully one of the ladies.
I was waiting for them to play on the fact that he was also supposed to be some sort of vampire, but we still haven't gotten that part of his character yet. But congratulations to Damian Priest. Well deserved. I'm actually very, very happy for him. It was shocking, but I'm definitely happy for him.
So anyway,
hot tub, I love that.
On to what we thought was the match of the night. And trust me, if you watch this, if you're not telling me this was the match that had you the most, screw you, you're lying to yourself. Pat McAfee versus Adam Cole, baby.
I gotta admit, did not see this coming.
McAfee.
I didn't either. It was a damn good match.
In my opinion, first of all, he was a better heel than 90% of anyone I see on TV.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the story coming out of it might seem a little weird because it's like, did you really turn Adam Cole face? Is he still like I don't know, but like. Okay, take away from the wrestling psychology. Overall, it was just well done.
And I gotta be honest, I had heard some rumors that he actually has been training for almost a year now.
Well, okay, so there's a story that when Pat got big in the NFL, I think it was the NFL.
Yeah.
He just did what normal people do. He had a bunch of money, so he spent it for no reason. He bought a full-size wrestling ring and forgot about it. And
how could you forget about that?
When you got that much money,
when you get NFL money,
I'll forget about 90% of my purchases.
Even like the highest paid punter right now, I think is $10 million. Like I think you just.
I hope I can get that kind of money. Forget about a wrestling ring I put in my garage.
Same. But anyway,
oh yeah, I got a party. Let's go into the wrestling ring and beat up each other.
Right? Yeah. But no. Pat was good.
Yes, he was.
Oh my God, yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and pick apart anything other than that. Look,
I don't know if it was because he's in there with Adam Cole, who, like I told people, is one of the best professional wrestlers in the world.
Oh, yeah.
But, man, they were so good. Great story. The reasons why Pat was getting ahead make sense in the story.
And surprisingly, out of everyone on this show that it happened to, Pat didn't actually get hurt.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
That's an awkward thing. Segue to later, but we'll get there. Anyway, but no. I mean, look, again, this is a decently story-told match. I was engaged the whole time. Pat was annoying.
Yeah, he was.
Oh God, yeah, from beginning to end.
As well as athletic. I don't think it hurts Adam Cole.
No.
I also like the fact that instead of a simple, and yes, it still hurts. I'm not taking it away. I'm glad he ended it with the Panama Sunrise.
Yeah.
Over the what's the
last shot.
Last shot.
Yeah. Last shot of last call.
Okay, yeah, anything like that. But no, I'm glad that it ended that way versus the knee. I felt it was a good ending for what I'd been told. The whole point was that this was more of a wrestling match than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And by doing a Panama Sunrise versus a knee to the back of the head, you supported the story better in that. It was a somewhat legit wrestling contest.
Yeah.
You can be cynical and say, oh, it's Pat McAfee, former punter. I'm just going to sit there and say, well, Pat McAfee's already farther wrestling than half the people at the Performance Center.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think, not doing the knee hit, kind of hints on that because Pat with his kick, it's very similar. Having him doing a different move besides that, I think would logically be a lot better for him to do it too.
The backbreaker from the suplex.
Woo!
The backbreaker from the fireman's carry, I should say. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, neither did I.
And I don't. And here's the deal: when I've seen matches like this, prime examples would be, let's say, MGK when Kevin Owens was involved. Kevin Owens didn't really do, I would say, a legit power bomb. It was sort of that power bomb that you do to somebody who's not ready to take the bump type of situation. Yeah. When you saw Kevin Federline, John Cena didn't really wrestle Kevin Federline as much as he just kind of FU'd him and we were done.
I was about to say he only had to take a few spots and then he got a master check.
Right. But my whole point is that this was treated not like your typical, here's someone who's not from the wrestling
business. Here's a celebrity versus a wrestler.
Exactly. It wasn't treated as such, and I think a lot of that credit to Pat, being that Pat McAfee has found a way to become the most interesting post-NFL career punter or kicker ever.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
That is so true.
Because I mean, look, Pat Pat talks like he was an all-pro wide receiver.
Yes, he does.
Oh
He
my
talks
God,
like
yes.
Michael Irvin, but never even came close to the accolades of a Mr. 88. But I mean, that's my thing. It is just look.
2 weeks after his wedding, too, he did this.
Right?
Match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. But that's my thing is that nothing from this match ever made me get bored and say, "Oh, it's celebrity versus wrestler."
No.
I never got bored with
And that's excellent.
they did a
That's
very good
excellent.
one.
Yeah, I
That's
agree.
excellent.
It's excellent on both guys.
Oh, yeah.
This was awesome on both guys. But now my question is, what's next for UE? Like, are we finally getting the move? Like, what the hell's going on?
Well, okay.
Because now they're a group like worse, even to me worse than Johnny. Like, you're kind of in limbo because you're not the number one contenders for the tag team. Roddy's not the number one contender right now for the North American, and I don't see. Maybe they'll do the carrying cross. Well, I don't know. Well, we'll talk about that later. But
Yeah.
I didn't before this match. I didn't see him facing carrying cross for if carrying cross won the NXT title.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, this would be the time usually when guys would move up, but of course during this, it's harder for them to do the call-ups.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so what's next for UE? Because
Well,
all those guys besides,
let's probably save that for a future topic because I feel like we could spend a half hour.
That's true.
Oh, we
on
definitely
what
could,
be
yeah.
next. Anyway, moving on, women's match. I said earlier, we talked about this, we prefaced it. Great build-up, great video packages. Io Shirai basically saying, until you attack Tegan Nox, who were you really?
Guys, I gotta say this as we're getting into this match.
Uh-huh.
Io might be better than her husband, who is the current double champion in New Japan. She may be better than him as a professional wrestler.
On the ropes, rope play.
I mean, the whole package. Promos.
Hold on. Okay, best rope competitors right now. It's a tie, in my opinion, between Rey Fenix and Grand Metalik. On the ropes, two best guys in the world. The best mat wrestler, probably Timothy Thatcher. I think we talked about that.
Yeah.
The best power guy, I think it's probably Brock. Honestly, maybe Drew. Probably.
I don't know.
Bobby or Drew.
To be honest, I actually go outside of WWE. Moose might be one of the best power guys in the game. Now he doesn't have a wide move set.
No. Y'all said John Cena had 5 moves.
You guys, if we were showing our faces, you guys would have loved Zach's like no.
Yeah, John Cena has 5 moves, but it works.
Yeah, but Moose has like 2.5. Anyway, and I love Moose, but he's just boring right now. I'm sorry.
Right now, yeah, he's absolutely boring.
But anyway, so back to my point. Rey Fenix and Grand Metalik on the ropes. Timothy Thatcher, power game. You got a bunch of people. Is there anybody that's more fluid in the sky than Io Shirai?
No, there isn't.
Not a chance.
Io Shirai hit Raquel Gonzalez with those double knees, and I'm like, the bitch transitioned from her legs spread to closed in mid-fucking air, and I didn't even see it until the replay.
And by the way, hit the distance perfectly.
Oh my
at
God.
a distance you shouldn't be able to hit perfectly
I
at
know,
that angle.
I know that it was storyline, and Dakota Kai was trying to be like, I don't think Io is as good as everyone builds her up to be.
Yeah.
But in real life, is there anyone better than Io Shirai right now?
No, there isn't.
Well, maybe Asuka, but that's about it.
Well, but the thing about it is that Asuka's a better martial art.
Well, she's a better technical wrestler.
Exactly,
for sure.
but the thing about it is that here's the deal. I talk about the car wreck that is Spot Monkey, but Io Shirai doesn't need to go to AEW. I'm sorry, if I'm AEW, as big as a star as she is, don't sign her, because here's the problem. She will make every woman in that division look like an absolute
She'll embarrass your women's division.
And that's not even a shot at Hikaru Shida, who's good at what she does.
Who's incredible.
But the thing about it is that Io Shirai is fluid when she runs. She hits the ropes like a 50-year pro. She hits the ropes like Ric Flair did against Steamboat. That's how good she hits the rope. Go back and watch her just freaking hit the ropes. It's a thing of beauty. She is the genius of the sky. It's not a tagline. She knows what she's doing. She hits distances I don't think she could do.
At angles that most would just fail at.
She is so... I mean, it's like...
Maybe Rob Van Dam in his prime. He's about it.
It's like watching Rob and Ray in their prime. It's like watching Super Crazy in his prime.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like watching Hoovitude in his prime.
Thank you, Rey Mysterio, because if not for you, maybe Io Shirai isn't a professional wrestler. She has said that he is. Her biggest influence.
And she actually does the
619.
619. I miss Morrow because he always calls it by its like actual name.
Yeah.
You know, but anyway, but no, that's my point. Is that look, Dakota Kai is a good worker. I think that Dakota Kai can actually talk. I think Dakota Kai has the package.
I think since she signed 2 years ago, she's come a long way.
1,000 miles. But here's the deal. Io Shirai went from being the Joshi Judas heel character, and she has flawlessly transitioned into, you just like her like an Undertaker. You don't care if she's face or heel. You don't care about Io Shirai's description of heel or face. You don't care.
No.
You just watch Io Shirai. Okay, so here's the deal. Kevin Owens, who has been jumping off of things since Pro Wrestling Guerrilla days, he jumped off a sign at WrestleMania, shattered his ankle, and was gone for a while.
Yeah.
She jumped off the In Your House sign, and I'm like, dude, that could have been a bump that she took from the top rope to the apron. It was flawless.
Oh,
This woman is and you know what? Knock on wood, because I don't want anything to happen to her. But here's the deal. And here's the deal. I don't want her to all of a sudden botch and then someone's like, you're wrong. She's flawless.
Yeah.
She is so fluid.
Her timing is just impeccable. She
God,
gets her timing. She's an incredible.
I could watch
jewel.
Io Shirai versus anybody. Just for Io Shirai.
To be honest, man, I just want my Io Shirai Asuka WrestleMania match next year. That's what I want.
That'd be a good match.
And I want Vince to just give them like 30, 40 minutes, let them get creative.
Oh God, it just.
Oh my God, like Meltzer,
anyway.
you don't give that 6 stars. You can kiss my butt. Like,
right.
Come on, man.
It was a good match.
It was very good.
I think that Raquel was there enough.
Yeah, she over-interfered.
I don't think it was an over-interference. I don't think it was like the buy-in ladder... No, the poker chip ladder match. We talked about that on the show, the poker chip ladder match.
Man, I barely remember it now.
Okay. My biggest problem with
That's
that...
all right. I want to forget about that.
Anyway, my biggest problem with that was when Kip Sabian came in, Jimmy Havoc immediately hit the ring.
Yeah, that's right.
But Raquel was there, but you forgot about her most of the match. Then she showed up, and you're like, "Oh wait, that's still a thing." She got taken out in a clean way. It wasn't gimmicky. It wasn't stupid.
Yeah.
Raquel, I don't think gets hurt as a big woman.
No.
In this scenario, I don't think you hurt her.
No.
They have actually protected her so well because she's still kind of green in the ring.
Oh yeah.
Since they've added her with Dakota Kai, they've protected her pretty well.
And this is my thing. And by the way, for those of you out there who are like, you always are in a good mood when you review NXT, but you hate Spot Monkey, I'm looking at you and I'm being honest when I say there is a situation where Raquel Gonzalez could be overused. Mm-hmm. She could become an outlier in the match.
She could be very like Nia Jax-like.
Yes.
But luckily so far, Shawn and Triple H and Sanjay have been very, very good at protecting her. Just her as a wrestler too.
And I love the fact that Dakota didn't even have her until 1 week before the match.
Literally, she didn't show up.
Raquel was
Wednesday.
gone.
Yeah, she was gone for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Just gone, ladies and gentlemen.
Like a ghost.
And I'm sitting here looking at myself like...
Hell, I think you literally asked me last week.
Was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
I think it was last week.
Where I just asked the question, where the hell is Raquel Gonzalez?
I think it was literally last Sunday.
Was that last week? Okay. So, but again, it was a story that was, again, my problem in AEW is I'm not understanding the story because they give me the payoff too quickly.
Yeah.
This was a story that had so many layers that everyone's like, well, you know, AEW tells a story every 2 weeks and you're mad. NXT does it every 2 weeks, you're mad. I'm like, here's the deal, though. You could have told this story in 2 weeks because Io Shirai, you don't have to do anything more with Io Shirai. Yeah. She doesn't need to be built up anymore. Dakota Kai's character is set. The problem is that Spot Monkey has characters I don't get. But anyway, we'll talk about that.
But
that's next.
The best part to me about the Raquel thing before this was like, because at first you're like, well, if Raquel ain't there, Dakota might just get killed. But when she comes back, you know, last Wednesday, you're like, oh yeah, that's right, she is a piece of this puzzle. Damn, Dakota actually might win.
And that's my point.
And that's how you do
but that's
story
my point,
building.
Is that they did it so well that you forgot about Raquel Gonzalez. By the way, for those of you who obviously didn't see because Leroy was not filming behind the scenes at the time, which is fine. But here's the deal: last week, Jesse's eyes did go wide when I asked the question, "Where is Raquel Gonzalez?" Because he legitimately forgot Raquel Gonzalez was ever. Because honestly, in my opinion, this could have been a situation where, let's say, okay, so let's erase Raquel Gonzalez from the last from her last two NXT appearances, which was NXT Wednesday and then obviously the pay-per-view. Let's remove those last two appearances. This literally could have just been, Dakota had a manager, now she doesn't, and we're writing as if she doesn't, and we wrote her off for no reason.
Yeah.
But the second you start to think that, boom, she's back. Which is brilliantly done.
And they brought her back in a big, she basically beat up Io Shirai.
And again, let me say this. We've talked about ratings on this show. By the way, 853,000 to 0, go NXT.
I gotta be honest.
We all know why. We all know why.
I'll be honest. I told people I thought NXT would get over 1 million. I was actually shocked it was below 1 million.
Well,
and I know that NBA basketball was on,
but it was the NBA playoffs.
But in my head, I'm like, I bet you some of those fans don't even care about that game.
But
they'll probably come watch NXT.
But again, we are in a post-pandemic world where I think people are.
We literally just got basketball back like a month ago.
That's my point. You can't judge these ratings.
Which is why the NFL wants to play so damn bad, because they know their ratings are going to be through the roof.
Oh God, they're going to get numbers they ain't seen since the '80s. Anyway, but no, it's just, here's my thing. We've talked about ratings for days. We've talked about it on this show for hours on end. But here's why I think NXT has gripped me more is despite the fact I said earlier it seems like it has no pulse, but the biggest reason why it is, and I'll explain right now in 2 seconds why. The biggest reason why I think NXT seems flat is because Full Sail University, the crowd, it has been built like the old ECW
Yes,
crowd.
it has.
There's so much a part of the show that you don't get the full interactive NXT experience without the crowd. You just don't. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So I'm not actually judging anyone because of this post-pandemic world.
No.
And everyone's like, well, you judge AEW, but here's the deal. In my opinion, AEW has not put on a better story than NXT post-pandemic. But here's the deal. Going back to my point about ratings, people are going to watch AEW no matter what. So that's my point to you saying you thought they'd get 1 million. These people weren't. Okay, so this is not the old days where when it was the original brand expansion, everyone was like, well, I'm a SmackDown guy. I'm a Raw guy. Yeah. We all technically watched, but you know which show you paid attention to more. This is a world and a post-pandemic world in which, here's the deal. We live in a society and we live in a world where no one is going to watch NXT even if it's the only thing on because you are so anti-WWE and you're so pro-AEW that you're doing it out of spite. I'm a wrestling fan.
Yeah, I'm a wrestling
fan. I watch both shows because I'm a wrestling fan. Then I critique both shows.
Yeah.
Which one do I prefer? It's clearly NXT. But I still watch both shows.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. I didn't think that the number was going to shift that hard because I don't think, and again, correct me if you think I'm wrong, I don't think any AEW fan was going to tune in just because AEW got moved. They legitimately were quote-unquote anti-NXT no matter what the show is.
Which would be
Vince Russo could literally be writing AEW and they'd still watch it because they're so against NXT.
Which is so shocking because, I used to tell people, when they, people were like, oh, Wednesday Night Wars, I'm like, actually, we should feel blessed as fans. Because I'm like, because like I said, I wasn't big into AEW, but I kind of slowly got into it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I feel blessed because I get to watch NXT, which is great, which a lot of these guys didn't get the network for because they were so anti-Vince and all that.
Right.
And I'm like, well, now this gives you a chance on free TV to watch a really damn good product.
And by the way, if AEW was smart and they had just gone to a Tuesday or a Thursday, in my opinion, you guys, if they would have been given that opportunity, is what I'm saying. But I don't see why, if you give them 7 o'clock on a Wednesday, you wouldn't give them 7 o'clock on a Tuesday, but that's a whole other story. But no, it's just, in my opinion, if you had just gone and you hadn't tried to be direct competition, and for those of you who are like, oh, Vince put them direct on, Vince, I don't even think Vince knows that much about AEW.
To be honest, I'm pretty sure that was It was he went to Triple H. Hey, I know about these cats down here. I just know they're starting another company.
Yeah.
Why don't we put your kids on the same time that they're
Which
on?
is fine.
That's probably all Vince. That's as far as he.
But,
by the way, looking at him on SmackDown, I'm like, wow, man, it's kind of weird.
No, he's 75.
I'm like,
he's getting old.
He's an old man.
He finally looks old though.
Oh,
like,
yeah. But here's
Took
my thing. But here's my thing. If they had just gone to a night, any old nights, and if NXT had said, okay, NXT, no, if AEW had said, okay, here's NXT, if I'm smart, I'm like, guys, we're not in the business of war right now.
Yeah.
Let's just go do our thing. I would have gone to Tony Khan and said, let's go to Tuesday or Thursday. Let's just do what we do. There is no direct comparison, so nobody gets to sit there and say, oh, despite the fact that NXT felt flat, it was still a better show. But the thing is that
they decided, like you talked about like almost a month ago when we had what's the name here. It was that they decided to take their shot at the big dogs, which like I said, my whole thing back then was, okay, cool, you're going to do a TV show smart.
Yeah.
Do not compete with them yet.
No.
Be on a Tuesday night if you're going to get on TNT. And that way you get all eyes on you.
And here's my thing. You guys are boasting about your 900,000. You do realize that if you were on a Monday or a Friday, you wouldn't come close to the numbers that Raw and SmackDown. Raw and SmackDown are actually losing viewership compared to what the
and they still hit like 1.5 mil.
But they're still killing you. Yeah. They're still knocking your ass out. Anyway, so Io Shirai, fantastic.
Absolutely.
Raquel Gonzalez still looks good despite getting knocked out. Dakota Kai, I don't think this hurt Dakota.
Not at all.
I don't.
Actually makes her look better.
Oh,
and probably a future shot in a couple of months for sure.
And then we get to the main events, which was, in my opinion, a bit of a letdown.
Yes, I think
a little bit.
You actually will agree on this. We will all agree on this, yeah.
Whether or not that was because of the we'll now say it. Whether or not that was because of the injury that happened to Cross. Or not. Also, by the way,
does anyone know when it happened? I know Triple H said it happened, but did he say when it happened?
I actually found some place that said so there is actually a moment where there was a shoulder tackle from Keith Lee, and Cross actually goes to grip the shoulder directly after he hits the ground. He hits the ground.
I don't know why, but for some reason. And it's weird because I'm like, these two are very, very good. And I've seen Cross work with guys less athletic. And this is not a shot at you, Michael Elgin, but less athletic than Keith Lee.
Oh, yeah.
And those matches have been very good. This one did not work at all for some reason.
I don't know what it was.
Like I don't know if the
show
chemistry
ended, by the way,
off.
at 8:30, not 9. So they had another half hour of TV if they wanted to. Although going 60 minutes would have been a bit much unless it was planned. But
yeah, definitely.
But look, to me, and again, everybody wants to get mad that Keith Lee was transitional. First of all, NXT champion, you're the champion just until they can move you to the main roster. Number one. So it's not like this is a world title you're supposed to hold for a year to 2 years. This is not an Adam Cole situation.
I told people last year after SummerSlam, I'm like, when Keith Lee is getting those kind of pops in front of Vince when he's wrestling Roman Reigns, he's not going to be in NXT for too much longer, guys.
But this is my point. I don't look at anyone as a transitional NXT champion because here's my deal. I look at the NXT championship as soon as you win it, I'm basically waiting for you to lose it so you can go to the main roster.
The fact that
that's what I'm waiting for.
The fact that Adam Cole held it for a year was such an aberration. I don't think you'll see that too many times in NXT.
And the other thing about it is that, look, it's a combination of I think Vince wants Keith Lee, number one. It's also a combination of Keith Lee's black. We're not going to deny this, but they didn't take the title off of him because he was black and Karrion Kross is white. They did it because it's been confirmed essentially that when Karrion Kross signed, he signed under the notion that they were going to push you to the top. And by the way, for those of you who were like, well, Vince promising this and that, you don't think Tony Khan didn't sign John Moxley saying, I'm going to shoot you to the AEW world title? Well, you don't think Chris Jericho signed being told we're going to use you as the first official inaugural champion?
They were going to be the only things when they first started to get the ratings. So,
guys get signed every other day telling them, hey, we're going to shoot you straight to the top. It just so happened that Keith Lee was there when Karrion Kross got shot to the top. It just so happened that's what it was. Would anybody be less offended if Cameron Grimes was the NXT champion for 2 weeks before he lost it to Karrion Kross? No. Keith Lee was just the guy there. It's not a white, black, blue thing. It's Keith Lee the guy at the...
Yeah, I agree. And I think the biggest... guys, he wasn't really a transitional champ. It feels like it because he only had it for a couple of months.
It feels like it's based on time. It doesn't feel like it's based on character.
Yeah, but it's...
Mick Foley was a transitional character.
Yes.
I can tell you, I'm pretty sure, guys, it's basically because he's not long for NXT. He was never going to be NXT champion that long. I knew that. But I also didn't see Karrion Kross getting the championship match this month. I thought it would be next month because maybe things would open up more before Vince could bring him up.
That's fair.
But yeah, like I told people, I'm like, Keith Lee was going to the main roster at some point.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's going to get shot to the top. And you're going to be like, why Keith Lee? So don't try to defend Keith now if you complain about him later. Be happy for him.
Be happy that Keith got to be, I think he's the first, no. Is he gonna be?
He's the 4th Triple Crown winner.
Well, no, he didn't win the tag title.
Oh, that's right. He didn't win the tag title.
He's the first. But here's the deal. Regardless of...
He's the first double champ.
Yeah, first double champ. He got to be the world champion. He gets to put that on his resume. He was the North American champion. And here's the deal. Again, Keith Lee, in my opinion, is all... But a quick question. Anybody here know how old Keith Lee is?
38, I think.
He's about 35, 36.
Yeah. Okay.
So Keith Lee... is not long to be... He is limitless only until Father Time taps you on the shoulder.
Yes, that's true.
So here's the deal. Vince's job is to take someone and make as much money on them as possible before things change. Becky Lynch is the prime example. He got as much money out of Becky as he could before Becky said, screw it, I'm older. Let me try to see if I can become pregnant. Becky made that decision. I supported it.
She wants to have the family.
Well, but here's the deal. I was talking to my friend June about this, who's a big Becky fan. She actually likes to. She call herself the Great Value Becky Lynch. She wants to be Becky Lynch, but anyway. But no. It's just June. June said it best. Becky said she always wanted to be a mom. She's 33. It's getting more and more dangerous for her to have a pregnancy, and she's in a place where let's be honest, her uterus is getting thrown around every single damn night. I'm sorry, this is biology. This is not a feminist argument. But she probably got to the point in her life where she said, screw it, we're going to try. We're going to be unprotected, and if it happens to Seth and I, awesome. If it doesn't, then I've accepted that in my life because I still get to live out my dream. So that's my whole thing, is that there is a quote-unquote time limit to limitless Keith Lee. Is there a time limit to Keith Lee, the big man? I think that could be longer.
Yeah.
But limitless Keith Lee, back to my whole point of presentation.
Yeah.
The word of the day is presentation.
Sweet. That's a big word.
Right? Oh. He's been presented as limitless.
Yeah.
And by the way, Evolve is now on the network.
Yes, it is.
You get to see the Evolve version of Keith Lee, which
Yep.
is very similar to the NXT version of Keith Lee.
Yep.
But you're not going to get that. Vince is not going to make money on that for 10 years.
No.
He's not going to make money on limitless Keith Lee until Keith Lee's 60. He's not.
No.
Okay? Vince's job is to take a guy, regardless of if he has 20 years experience. First of all, AJ Styles, prime example. He's made a lot of money on AJ Styles in a very short period of time.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing is that his job at the end of the day, and by the way, this is every wrestling promoter.
Yeah.
They have to make as much money as possible on a guy before, whether it's an accident, whether it's his personal choice, or it's Father Time, says, hey, buddy, you gotta go.
Yeah.
Keith Lee was not long for NXT. As soon as I saw he was even in the main discussion.
Yeah.
The second I see someone in the world title discussion, again, Cole's the outlier, but a good portion of Cole's difference was obviously pandemic.
Yeah.
A large portion of his title reign that put it into that 400-day mark was we didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
We didn't know if there was going to be a show. We didn't know if we were all going to be stuck inside our homes for 2 weeks, and I wouldn't even be able to come and do this show, even though it's only a few miles from my house. We all thought, like, no one knew. So Cole's title reign isn't defined by pandemic, but it's definitely lengthened due to it.
Plus, it allowed Triple H and Shawn to just build a star based off of the fact that he was champion.
Damn straight. But that's my point, is that Keith Lee is not transitional in character.
No.
He's transitional in time.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's all it is. Okay? So I'm looking at this and I'm saying to myself, it was never going to be a long reign.
No, I knew it was never.
And by the way, I hate to be that guy, but everyone's happy that a black guy got the championship. But the problem is that you wanted him to be the guy who got the moment, beating the longest reigning champ. But when was the last time you had a 400-day reign and it was followed up by another 400-day reign? It doesn't work like that.
Usually doesn't happen.
Yeah,
People get tired of it. So. Anyway, Cross is hurt. I don't think you take the title off him. I feel like Cross, if it's just a separated shoulder, and as long as it doesn't need surgery,
they can make some story stuff.
Make his wife talk for 4 weeks. I don't.
I was about to say, I'm like, you haven't heard her speak very often, and she's very good on the mic.
But the thing about it is that the mystique of Cross, in my opinion, could literally justify him not wrestling until the shoulders.
Yeah.
If it's 2 months, okay, you have to make a decision. But if he can heal up and wrestle hurt after 4 weeks and not do any worse damage, then, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
he'll be back.
Cut a promo, talk, scare people, punch a guy in the face and be done with it.
We live in the cinematic age. Do some cinematic stuff for now.
But it's just, I don't think it. Okay. There's some reports that it's just a separated shoulder. There's some reports that it's career-threatening. I don't know how a shoulder's career-threatening, but that's my hope. But
not unless he completely tore that thing out the socket.
Right. But like, here's my thing. There are stories. There are times where a character, and they're all characters. Give it up. Sorry. Can do
only MJF lives the character anymore, guys.
Exactly.
Yes.
But okay, MJF is a prime example. He doesn't have to wrestle for me to care.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't need to get in the ring and create a physical feud with Jon Moxley. He just has to create a verbal feud with Jon Moxley. And I believe in the feud of MJF and Mox. I believe in that feud because MJF can talk.
Yes, he can.
Karrion Kross has an image that is unique. It's very, very creepy in a lot of ways, but in a lot of good ways. And ultimately, when it comes to non-wrestling, your wife's the star.
Yeah.
Okay?
Scarlett Bordeaux is hot.
Mm-hmm.
Scarlett's not just the star physically. Look, I would maybe
she does actually carry quite a presence.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes,
I do think the lip syncing could stop.
Well, they actually did they do that last night?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, she did.
Because she had stopped for a while.
Quick question: is that her?
Yes.
In the song, no.
No.
She didn't actually sing the song.
So
no, they said. I heard that it was her singing.
Was it? I'm gonna have to do some research.
Yeah. I'd have to look that up, but yeah.
We'll put a pin in that, and we'll come back to that.
Okay.
But anyway, it's just here's my thing. Karrion Kross, if it's a shoulder injury that just has to get a little bit of rehab, just don't have him wrestle.
Yeah.
Make people quote unquote pay for it.
Yeah.
Make people have to pay their monthly subscription to the network to see him ultimately get. Basically, it's the simple idea of you got to pay to see us touch.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Don't have him squash guys anymore. There's no reason to have him squash anybody. He's the guy. He's the NXT champion. Leon Ruff can stay in developmental. I don't need Leon Ruff 4 nights a week in his ass.
We'll just give him the NXT Brock Lesnar treatment.
You know, it's kind of messed up, Leon Ruff, because he's also on 205 Live. And they
signed him because he was on the show 4 times a week and he was getting his ass kicked, but he showed good.
But he'll have matches on 205 Live, but he still loses. I'm like, Leon Ruff, that's the perfect name for you right now because you got it rough.
We're still on our first topic, but I think it was a good discussion.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now we're going to get into an interesting discussion. So WWE has now debuted its brand new presentation, we'll call it. Mm-hmm. Welcome to the Thunderdome.
I thought it was. I thought it was interesting. Thoughts? So I got the.
For those of you that don't know, the Thunderdome is essentially the screen. They got the old camera view back, which I like.
Yes.
I miss
do love
this
that.
camera view. But basically, it's a giant bubble that for 3 lengths of the ring, 3 sides of the ring, it's all LED screen.
Yeah.
And it's basically whatever. It's like a Zoom call. The fans get to zoom in, but here's the deal. We are living in a time, and these are my thoughts, and then we'll get to Jesse and Lee. Mm-hmm. My thoughts are this. I can't judge the Thunderdome in a pandemic era where they're trying to get interaction with fans. They're trying to. From what I've heard, they're on mute and then they pump in the crowd noise.
Yeah, that's what they.
That's
do
what I've heard.
Yeah.
Which
right now, that's
which by the way is smart because I'm sorry, most people were stupid. You're gonna do something stupid.
Because I mean, there was some questions like, well, why didn't the fans make any noise? Well, they were actually on mute and then they pumped in the crowd noise.
But here's the deal. WWE, in my opinion, created something that we didn't understand. That is unique. We're judging it based on, but see, you can't compare it to a live crowd because if a live crowd was there, nobody would have invented the Thunderdome.
They wouldn't.
That's true.
It wouldn't exist without the live crowd. I'm sorry. Okay, so my biggest thing here is that I'm not gonna judge it based on 2 shows.
Yeah. No.
I'm not gonna judge it. Well, so far it's been 1 show.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. What I loved, it was live TV again.
Yeah.
I missed those 4 letters in the corner of SmackDown that said SmackDown Live. I missed those 4 corners.
Yes.
So 4 letters. I'm sorry, but it's an interactive thing. The fans rotate in and out.
Yep.
They get a chance to be a part of the show again.
I think it's every 15 minutes or something like that.
I'm not 100% sure, but look.
I'm working on it.
Is it weird and gimmicky? Yes.
Yeah.
But
I actually registered to try to do Monday Night Raw, so you actually might see me on Monday Night Raw if I get a positive.
Just don't fall asleep.
Oh God!
Yeah, I did. I saw that one. I was like, dude, that guy was in bed. Oh my God.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So my thoughts are this.
It was late.
My thoughts are.
late for him.
I have no thoughts because I'm gonna give it time. I'm gonna see how I feel about it.
I'm mostly with you. I like I said, I really appreciate that Vince, because Vince understands. He's understood it for over 30, 40 years. The fans matter. It really does matter. Even if he's made decisions we haven't loved, he knows we matter. That's why he's a billionaire. Like without us, he's not. So
he knows that.
One of the things that I liked was, because I remember seeing the pre-setup, I think this was a few days ago when they kind of showed how they were constructing it. For people who don't know, they took over the Amway Center, which the Magic used to play in, but of course right now they're all playing in Disney for the NBA. So right now they have the contract with Amway, until whatever gets decided about the NBA next year and all that. Which is, I think right now it's up till the end of the year. I like the setup. Yeah. It was, by the way, it was really cool to see like the Fiend's interest again, because I'm like, well, right now, while we're in the Performance Center, I don't think you can do that entrance. No, because I'm like, you're just missing too much.
Everyone wants it to be normal, but we can't.
No,
right now, it just can't be normal, and I'm okay with them trying something.
I also like that when the wrestlers are coming out. Yeah, I actually I love the Fiend. So I love the Fiend's light show and stuff. The weird creepy ass images. I actually really loved AJ Styles because it was the A's all over the place in the hands. And Cesaro's now actually makes sense.
Yep. I get my pyro back.
You get pyro back now.
I get my lighting back. And by the way, we don't have the weird ass hockey boards anymore.
No. Because there's nobody there.
I get to walk away from the hockey boards for right now, which again is fine. And look, guys, here's the deal. It's an entertainment show to begin with. You're mad they're pumping in crowd noise, but this is what they have to do right now because, by the way, for all of you AEW marks out there who are like, well, AEW didn't have all these positive tests. First of all, WWE didn't have that many positive tests. They just had a lot of scares that they sent everyone home for. Here's the deal. You guys, your COVID god, I'll go ahead and use Jim Cornette's term, decided to go play in front of 800,000 dumbass bikers with no social distancing. So you know what? Here's the deal. You think this is a sloppy shop? Tony Khan let Jericho come home and didn't say stay home for 2 weeks. So as far as I'm concerned, you guys can drop your sloppy shop thing that Taz talked about because you guys are also going to be bringing fans in, which again, I'm not saying that they're doing it unsafely.
No, I actually, even though they're doing it smarter now, I actually wholeheartedly disagreed with that decision because it was a terrible idea.
So once again, we'll get back to AEW in a second because we're going to finish with the Thunderdome because Leroy, I do want a couple minutes with you in the Thunderdome. But here's the deal. Well, different story there.
Oh my gosh. I don't go that way, man.
Dude.
Is Tina Turner time?
Dude, Thunderdome, I would kill you in the Thunderdome. Anyway, but no. Anyway.
I'd kill you.
Sure. Anyway.
We'll call Mel Gibson. We'll get this settled between you.
But here's my thing.
No, I'm going to call Tina.
You can't blame them for a sloppy shop if they're doing something that yes looks hokey, but it's still keeping people safe.
It was actually way worse what AEW did, but we'll get to AEW differently. Let's push AEW down so we can get to everything else because apparently
I try to do that like my lunch when it was to keep that down.
So Leroy, Thunderdome, do you like it? Do you hate it?
I'm actually really interested.
Are you indifferent towards it, or is it too early to tell?
I liked it. I mean, it's. I'm trying. I like. And hopefully, you can do it. I'm trying my damnedest to get in a spot sometime very soon. Yeah. So, hopefully you can, and then you get your perspective. I mean, getting his perspective of being there and watching it like that, it would be really neat. I do love having the entrances. Yeah. Having all that back again, I so missed that. I mean,
to me, I've always felt.
The entrance is the biggest thing that I love.
It feels good to have those.
If I built a wrestling character, I would say one of the biggest parts of his character would be a unique entrance every week. I'm not saying I'm going to get a band for a Raw, but I can at least make an entrance that is unique for a live show and an entrance that's unique for a pay-per-view. But the entrance to me has always been something that has been underutilized. Everyone kind of dismisses it.
And it's underappreciated. By the way, give Vince a ton of credit. The one show he comes back on and he says, Bray, why don't you come look like you're going to attack me? Because right away now on SmackDown, you're like, oh my God, I'm super engaged. The Fiend's going to mess up Vince McMahon. He's a 75-year-old man.
He can take it. He took a bump.
But
he leaped off the damn balcony.
Yep.
I mean,
but that right there, just like I'm like, okay, even
where did Vince go? By the way, I missed that part.
So it was funny. So
like
when Braun comes in, there's a back camera that they didn't show, but you can barely see when AJ and Jeff are wrestling. Yeah, you can see him just kind of sneak his way out when Braun comes down.
But to be fair, Vince doesn't really play a role in that story, so he wasn't neat.
Well,
but it was so intriguing to have him.
I think what a lot of people were
puppet reference in that.
That's well, okay. Well, what I think people were worried about is that Vince was going to come back and he was going to do the typical 20-minute talk. Blah, blah, blah. And it was 3.5 minutes.
He's too old for that now.
He didn't. He showed up, he introduced you to Thunderdome, and then boom, Firefly Funhouse music hits. It's great.
Yeah. But which the one reason why I want to do this and see is like, because when that came up, everything went black. I'm like, okay, if you're watching this feed on your computer or whatever,
will it go black?
Would it go black for you too, so you can't see anything?
Yeah,
are you actually gonna see stuff?
Right.
And it's like, are you there for and it's
because they also kind of do the flickering, like they played with the screens and stuff.
Yep.
When
it looked like that. That's what I was. That's
another reason I'm going to try to see if I can get registered.
Is this a pay thing? Do you guys have to pay to be on?
No, it's a free registration.
Okay, all right.
It is free.
I know they screen you, but it's just a screen of like, do you watch the show? How much of the show you watch?
Yeah, they want to make sure it's like you can't do this, you can't do this, can't do this.
Because of course the running joke was someone's going to pull out their penis. I'm like, no. They'll cut off that screen real quick.
It's like, boom.
If you don't think that there isn't a guy who is basically told for the entire 3 hours of Raw and 2 hours of SmackDown, you're monitoring every single person that.
And they also got to make sure that
there has to be
that you got to be 18 years or older with this.
Okay. There was no young people.
If I have my kids, if they're home on a Friday and I get in on Friday, yeah, they're going to sit next to me watching this as long as, an 8 and a 5-year-old can sit and do that, which is not that long. But they'll pop in and out every once in a while because I was doing Zoom for my church, and they pop in every once in a while because I'm here sitting here doing it.
I mean, it is what it is.
So
it's going to be interesting because I know they didn't do they didn't do the fan volume this time, but the rumor is in the future they would like to see if you guys want to yell from your home, we want to welcome it. Yeah. They didn't do it this time because they didn't feel like they would have control over all that sound.
Right.
So, like I said, I'm very interested to see what they do in the future.
It's going to be look. I said it once and I'll say it again.
They gotta bleep me out. I think I'm gonna be on there. I'd be like, "Holy," because I will say that
it's too early for me to judge if it adds or if it takes away.
Yeah.
I don't think it looks hokey. I think it looks different from a live audience, but that's obvious. But I'm not going to sit here and spend my time on the internet, bashing something that I don't know yet.
Yeah, exactly.
It was one night.
It brought back the entrances that we all love.
Yes.
I mean, I can't wait to see Drew's entrance.
Oh, it's gonna be so
tonight.
good. So good.
Pen? Oh, yeah.
So good. But anyway, so moving on from the Thunderdome.
Hold on. So I want to have a suggestion, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Let's put this about a little bit after that. Because then because we know what we know what me and Zach.
Production meeting.
Yeah, I'm sorry to ask.
I was actually gonna do that before.
Okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have SummerSlam. We're all basically gonna go right to our TVs and watch shortly after the show's done.
Thank God I don't have to go far.
Yep. But
the bad part is I got to cook dinner for my kids in the process.
But anyway,
that's what pre-show is for.
Here's the deal. I'm actually excited. There's a lot on there that I want to see. I think they've done a good job of building things.
And they did change 2 match stipulations. And we saw it on SmackDown. The hair of his hair is now it's going to be a
loser leaves
WWE, which gives an insight of what might happen.
Which, by the way, let's just tie that in right now.
Yeah.
Really quick. I'm not going to comment much on an ongoing investigation because obviously this is something that is very sensitive to the matter. But for those of you that don't know, Sonya Deville in her home was. Basically, her home was broken into.
It was Sonya and Mandy. Actually.
Yeah. But anyway, so Sonya Deville. And by the way, I'm not like Jim Cornette. I'm not saying, hey, keep the cave. Like, here's the deal. Nobody would have known that Mandy was there if this hadn't have come up. So that's number one.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is look, there is a scary world out there. There are a bunch of crazy people out there. And in my opinion, we need to have a law that says if you're this crazy, we lock you away for good. You are not a functioning member of society. We're not going to deal. I'm not going to get anything political on this, but the thing about it is that Sonya Deville had a stalker who drove 450 miles to break into her house, to tie her up, to essentially
kidnap her.
By the way, the whole killing my favorite celebrity thing, I've never understood fans that were like, oh, John Lennon's a prime example. Like, you love him so much, you kill him. I never got that, but
I didn't understand that too.
But no. Okay, here's the deal. Sonya Deville is safe. That's all that matters. Yeah. I'm sure that because look, this is wrestling. The show must go on. I'm sure that they asked her, "Do you want to do SummerSlam?" And here's the deal. A couple of things here. Number one, Sonya could just be leaving for time off to give her time to relax. Number two, she might be needed for trial and proceedings and all this other stuff. But the thing about it is that I'm glad they changed the stipulation, although I don't think Sonya would have minded going bald. I think Sonya was okay with that.
Yeah.
That would have been it would have worked. I would have enjoyed that too.
But the thing is that I look at the scenario as I give them credit that real life happened. They're obviously working with her in some way because here's the deal. We all know Mandy's not leaving because she hasn't ended the Otis thing.
No.
We know if any wrestling fan who's watched this for a year knows that Mandy is still. Mandy will probably go now be a permanent member of the Otis situation. And by the way, I don't care if you keep the Money in the Bank off TV.
Which at this point might be good for Otis because my God, he's done nothing since he won the briefcase.
Well, but here's the deal.
But beat Dolph Ziggler, which everyone does.
Pandemic
nowadays.
world, maybe they're waiting for the payoff. They have a year for it. We'll see. I'm not speculating that. But here's the deal. This is a scenario where I feel like, again, WWE has allowed her to compete because obviously she wants to. If she didn't want to, they're not going to make her.
They wouldn't let her do it.
They're canceling this shit.
Yeah.
No way after that. And again, it's so public that you can't just be like, oh, we're forcing you to compete because we already booked you. This happened. It is what it is. The guys, by the way, go back and look at this guy. This is not a shot at Hornswoggle. He looks like a taller version of Hornswoggle. But the thing is just look. Sonya, it has some legal issues she now has to deal with that are not of her fault.
And probably just I want to get away from this for a minute.
And again, that's fine.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is again, I don't want to spend too much time because obviously it's already been beaten to death in the media. It's a huge topic, but there's not much to go into. She's safe. Everything's okay. We're not going to detail what happened moment for moment. If you want that, go find it on the internet. But she has a lot on her plate with this, obviously. It's something that we have to adapt. And, okay, this is my problem with the world right now, this is a non-wrestling thing I'm going to say, we as Americans especially have not adapted to this pandemic well. We want things to go back to normal so much that we refuse to do things that are just blatantly smart.
Yeah.
All because we feel inconvenienced. This is a situation where you can say Vince is this evil guy who doesn't care and just wants to make money. It's clear that
if he didn't care, then it would still be a hair versus hair match. It was he clearly cares about his wrestlers.
She has had an unforeseen circumstance in life that they are obviously going to allow her to deal with. And again, Becky's another one. They let Becky do her thing, even though at the time Becky was making $1 million.
Charlotte's surgery, she could have been back today.
Charlotte's surgery is more because when you do implants, you have to get them changed every 5 years. Also, Charlotte's had some health issues with her implants, so they're probably making sure that doesn't happen again. That's no here nor there. But here's the deal. We have not, in America, adapted well to change. We very rarely do.
Yeah.
But this is blatantly stupid.
Yeah.
We have not become smarter. We've become.
We've seen the ignorance grow.
We've become more ignorant.
Through all this, we have seen
more selfish.
Wow, there's a lot of selfish human beings in this country.
And anyway, it's just here's the deal. This is a scenario where, again, I'm using the pandemic as an example to Sonya. Something has happened, and now you are forced to make a change because there's nothing else you can do. You can't hide from this. You can't walk away from it. You can't put it in a box and leave it alone for 2 months. It is an immediate change. It has to be dealt with, and it's going to happen. It is what it is. Now, we could all be shocked, and Mandy does lose, and Mandy goes somewhere else, and then Sonya just is dealing with it by working, but it's clear that she just needs time.
Yeah.
I'm not sure because I don't know Sonya as a person. I don't know if she mentally can go home again. She might need a new home.
Yeah.
Well, I've dealt with a few things that are kind of, I was in our place where I work where it was held up by gunpoint and supposed gunpoint. That was shocking. The person I was working with had to leave for that day.
Yeah.
I dealt with it, and that's just me. I mean, but having everything happen to her, it would probably take me a little while to actually feel like going home because that person, somebody went into your house without violated your privacy, and possibly could hurt you and hurt a good friend.
Yeah.
I mean,
Look, guys, K-Fab's dead. Okay, just accept it, move on. The world is we
Vince
get it. MJF's not actually a dick, but he does a great job playing a jerk. The thing about it is that look, Vince understood, and look, Vince is up for either A, greatest promoter of all time, or at the same time being the guy who killed the wrestling business, but Vince understood where entertainment was going. You can't ask a bunch of 20-some-year-old people to not do Twitter. That is a personal choice. You can't tell them to go Twitter silent. You have to adapt to the fact that people are going to be themselves on Twitter.
Yeah.
You look, and I'm not trying to laugh at this. I'm trying to use it as a real life example. The reason why nobody got mad at Paige for her video situation was because here's the deal. She didn't put it out. Somebody hacked her system and put it out.
Yeah.
But Vince understands because he's been around it for forever. You can't put 20-something-year-old people together and not expect something like that to happen.
Yeah.
They're going to do things that the average person does because they want to feel real. They want to feel like Look, you think Paige is the only one that's got that shit? No.
No. There's a lot out there, trust me.
Paige was just caught up in a situation that she had no control over. And by the way, I don't think any less of the girl.
No.
It
was a fun thing for them to reference during the rap battle.
No. There was fine. But here's the deal. Real life happens. Vince is one of the best at adapting to it.
Yeah.
Whether it's removing someone entirely. By the way, why would you mention Roman Reigns? He's not on the show.
True.
Roman's not mad about it. Because Roman, reportedly by Dave Meltzer, is the only person who hasn't contacted AEW about a contract. Because Roman Reigns knows where the money is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny.
So, as far as I'm concerned, look, Vince
that guy's in phenomenal shape, by the
right? Yeah, amazing. Okay. Vince is gonna adapt to what happened. He can't escape it. He can't do anything about it. He can't get around it. It's public knowledge. She has to be in court because legally he is allowed to face her accuser. Look, the justice system you can say is broken. I am one of those people that says no. And here's why I say no. It's built for the people to be innocent. You just get out maneuvered is what it is. O.J. Simpson did it. Johnny Cochran was just a goddamn genius.
Yeah, the glove don't fit.
It's the Wookiee
can't
defense.
Convict.
Look at the pretty monkey. I'm literally quoting Jim Cornette because he uses that all the time on the show. Look at the pretty monkey.
Work.
It's the Wookiee defense. I mean, it's what it is. But anyway, no. Here's the deal. Real life is the justice system is he has the right to face his accuser. Yeah. We all know what he did. We all know he's guilty. He doesn't think he did anything wrong because he's not mentally sane.
Yeah.
God, yes.
But the thing about it is that he has the right under our law to face his accuser. Now, Jesse, as a young black man, people might ask you, how do you feel? But my whole point is this. I don't think it's, in my opinion, the justice system is not built against black people. They sadly come from an era or from a place in life where they don't get the proper representation. If you were able to get a proper lawyer, I think it's pretty easy. Because here's the deal. In a jury trial, there's 12 people. You only got to convince one that you didn't do it. That's it. I'm not starting anything involving black people.
No.
But that's my point, is that the system is actually geared towards the defendant. And the people have the burden. So what I'm trying to explain to the people out here is that he does have rights, even though it's obvious what he did.
Probably guilty as hell.
He is guilty beyond all human recognition. He's clearly on her video camera.
Yeah.
He is clearly doesn't give a damn, because you see those mugshots, he doesn't give a shit. But the thing about it is that he's still due proper representation. He's still due his day in court. He's still due to force her to come, because sadly that's how the system works. If done right, the system works. It doesn't always get the best showing, but the system works. Yeah. And here's the deal. I don't care if somebody is obviously guilty. We still need to do the due process to show that the system is the same for everyone.
Like I said, it might be my last word on it. The best thing for her was the change of the stipulation.
Yes.
Plus, to be honest, I would think if I was one of the promoters backstage, I'd tell Vince, and I think he understands that, but listen, man, I would just let her take some time, because
let her go,
because
pay her to stay home.
Pay her while she's trying to figure some stuff out, because that's a traumatic thing. To have. And by the way, for the dude, you're probably too crazy to realize this, but she's gay, man. Like, she's not even into dudes. Yeah. So but it's a sad situation. But I hope she bounces back.
And by the way, for those of you who might take a second to knock Jesse for bringing that up the way that he did, it's not a lie. Number one, it's a fact. And number two, it's a perfect example of why this dude is not sane.
Yeah.
Because she didn't hide the fact that she was.
She was born this way.
She's open, and she's open about it. Like,
exactly.
They openly promoted it when she was on the show that they had on TV.
She came out at the Tough Enough tryouts in her underwear to a room full of people.
Yeah,
she clearly didn't care that much. So people knew.
So hopefully, like I said, my last word on it before we go to the next thing is that I really do hope, I'm not going to use her real name, but I really do hope, Sonya, that you can find some sort of peace during this time. That was a horrible situation. And to any wrestling fans out there, remember, they are still people.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna I've gotten a chance to meet a few of my favorites when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Be respectful. One of the things my dad taught me was, hey, you know what? I know you love seeing him on the TV, son, but he's still a person. Approach him with respect, some human dignity.
One of the things I want to be clear: Leroy and I love wrestling. We got into this business because we literally were asked by our buddy, who's a promoter, "Do you want to help set up the show?"
Yeah.
But we're still fans.
Yeah.
So we many times have to tell ourselves, "Hey, we are working." But let's not become fans until the wrestlers are okay with the thing.
Yeah.
The last Heavy on Wrestling event that was up here, I got a picture with Taya Valkyrie. one of my favorite talents of women in the world.
She's awesome.
But here's the thing. Taya needed to be... I let her do her fan thing, even though I was technically working that show as a ring crew member. I didn't use that as my chance to go meet her before the other people.
Yeah.
I stood in line like everybody else. I waited my turn. I didn't tell her, hey, I work here, give me more attention. I didn't do that kind of stuff. Because that's what a rationally sane human being does.
Yeah.
You want to know why Sasha Banks is worried about someone that's at the airport at 3 a.m.? Because you know what? Your ass should be asleep. Or go to work.
Yeah.
God damn, what are you doing at an airport at 3 a.m.?
Oh, yeah, and with that, too, I mean, working, for MAW down there, I mean, that first one did it, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, you want to get a picture of the hacksaw? I'm like,
yeah.
It doesn't cost, go ahead. Didn't cost me that. I'm like, well, thank you. Thanking me for helping them out.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a free autograph for my son from Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Damn straight.
Oh, my God.
And the thing about it is that, like Jesse said, they're human. If you treat them as not the stars they are on TV, it's amazing how they treat you.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable how they will, and I think one of the biggest things that makes them, again, Brock Lesnar is the prime example. I feel like Brock would, even though yes he doesn't like people, and I'm fine with that, whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like Brock would feel more comfortable saying hi to a fan, or even taking a picture, especially if he's not with his kids. I mean, if he's with his kids, leave him alone.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It is what it is. But Brock is someone that I feel like if you just act like he's another dude that walked through the door, and yes, it's hard because it's Brock Lesnar. I feel like Brock is a little more approachable. I mean, Brock knows who he is. He knows what he is, and he knows that at some point in his life he has to be a celebrity, because that's how you ultimately get people to buy merchandise. That's how you. Jimmy John's doesn't give you sponsorship just because you're good. It's because you're an actual representation of the company.
Yeah.
So my biggest thing is I look at the whole situation as the guy is clearly not there.
Yeah.
He is obsessed. And look, another thing I'm going to say, and if anyone denies this, you're lying. We all had, when we were younger, and obviously teenagers, the chemical imbalance screws up everything. Biology is biology, okay?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We all had a celebrity crush where we envisioned them being with us, but very few people take it to this level.
Yeah, no, not like that.
Yeah, there are people that have tried.
Yeah.
And it's,
but just
horrible.
We wish her nothing but the best.
Yeah.
I hope that, this doesn't end her career because she's so
Vince,
talented.
I read a story about Vince and how he takes care of the people he likes.
Oh, yeah.
He had somebody that was going through a divorce, and he said, come and talk to me.
Yeah.
And there was crap going on. They had a paper like tonight. They're going to him, hey, Vince, we need you. I'm busy. It can wait. They bugged him 3 times, and the guy says, you can do it. He goes, no, you are more important at this time.
Yeah.
You guys can figure this out, and we get this figured out.
And for those of you who are like, oh, Vince, why isn't Vince like that 100% of the time? First of all, no one's that way.
No one's that way all the time, no.
And the other thing about it is that he is still running a billion-dollar company.
Yes.
Not every personal issue is going to be on his shoulder.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean he doesn't care. It's just that, do I take care of somebody who's going through a divorce, or do I take care of the 50 other people on my roster who I still have to make money for tonight?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, but not every personal problem means a personal visit from the boss. It doesn't work like that.
But when he can, he'll help you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it depends on if he felt moved at that time to help that person out for whatever reason, and I don't know who it was, didn't care really, but it says Vince is not a machine.
No.
He's human.
Yeah.
He has feelings. He understands, and with Sandy, he is understanding. He's like, we can take your time off. We will help you. Help her get as representation as she can if she needs or whatever.
With some of the best lawyers in the world, so she'll be
and
okay.
maybe hopefully help her relocate.
Yeah.
To somewhere else. So
all right. Anyway, so you said there was another match that had the stipulation change. Why don't we jump into that?
That was it was the Braun feat.
Braun and Bray will now be false count anywhere.
Yep.
And I am so pumped for this thing.
Here's the thing. The Fiend. By the way, I
love the Fiend.
I would like to point out before we go on. We on the show sometimes we say things wrong and then we find out later and we like to correct ourselves. I said that where do you go with the Fiend after Braun, because that's the end of Bray's past. Randy Orton, I forgot was
I saw that, yes, and I did see that. So
there is something else we can do. I just want to correct myself, but anyway, go on with your Fiend.
So I was gonna say it's funny because sometimes you hear about the last minute match changes. You're like, what the hell was that for? These two actually made sense.
Oh, yeah.
What happened to her? I got it. I'm like, I think it's still going to be a good match. But with Bray and Braun, I'm like, are they going to let them tear some stuff apart tonight or not?
Is the Thunderdome allowed to be something that we use? Is that on...
Plus the fact with the LEDs, they can just change up like how it looks inside the arena now.
Is that going to be on the do not touch weapon list? It's going to be the thumbtacks, then Thunderdome.
All of a sudden we're going to hear, we don't need another hero come on or something.
Also, I'm also pumped for this match as this now, because there was a promo on SmackDown.
Is this the end of this feud?
Yeah. I think it actually is, but I think it's a permanent change to Braun, which is going to be good.
Okay.
Yes.
There was a promo with Nikki Cross.
Okay.
And it was very simple, but to me it was super effective because she just said, I was with Nikki, or I was with Alexa.
Yeah.
I was with Bliss.
After the...
Yeah, I know.
It didn't go off.
We have an Alexa. We have to make sure that we say Alexa Bliss, otherwise it happened during the last show. That was hilarious. But anyway.
She's talking about Bliss, and she was like, she was acting like herself, but I can just tell she wasn't herself. And then today, and then she paused, and she went, things are gonna get so much worse from here on out.
I'm gonna pose this question to you guys then. Is this a change in Alexa Bliss to Sister Abigail, or is this a change in Alexa Bliss that's going to be her and Braun only, and then the Fiend moves on?
Oh man, I gotta be honest. I don't know, but I'm excited to find out tonight.
It'll be.
I'm like a kid right now. I'm like pumping my feet.
He really is. Can confirm. Can confirm.
I gotta set up a camera in here sometime.
It's gonna be so good.
Not to be bad, in my kitchen, the camera, nowhere else.
We're actually gonna possibly be doing some live stream shows here.
Definitely.
We'll do the show live on like Facebook or something.
Do really part cool. of it, live show. Really cool. If you guys, find us on Facebook, everybody in the lounge. If you want to actually see how weird we look and how
stupid we are on the show, there you go.
Or how my kitchen. I'm actually like clean my kitchen a little bit better.
Anyway, no, that's my thing. Is I look at this and I say to myself, if it's the end of Bray and the Fiend, then it's the beginning of Bray and Braun. Then it's the beginning of Braun and Bliss. It's the beginning of something. That's all I know.
I will say this. My choice would be Bliss tonight shows up as this weird amalgamation of Sister Abigail and not that stupid thing that they made.
But the problem is that, and no offense, but that contradicts your statement about this is the end of.
Here I was going to explain it.
Okay, go ahead.
So, because Fiend doesn't say he wins the title tonight because she shows up as this amalgamation and costs Braun.
Fair.
Fiend no longer has to be involved with Braun for them to continue some sort of feud, because now you're talking about the Fiend's influence has like literally changed someone
but you can't,
to be evil.
But then how does it continue with Bray? Because you don't.
What do you mean with Braun? Because then she can like whisper in someone's ear, like this week, like he just randomly attacked Drew Gulak after like they tried to help him out with Retribution after they came down.
Yeah.
And he just started attacking the guys.
So you're saying that
I think she could. I think she could become like a de facto like the better part of what Bray used to be, as far as the cult stuff, where she can influence wrestlers now to just try to like beat up Braun all the time.
So let me get this straight. You're saying that it's going to be Alexa controlling Braun, but no influence from Bray?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
You lost me for a second.
Kind of like a puppet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like she becomes his new puppet master, and Bray doesn't have to be involved in that.
That's fair. Totally.
He could basically just laugh it off and put it as another picture on his wall.
Yeah, definitely. Somebody has time. Look up what Randy Orton said about his involvement with the Fiend. What they could do with that.
The Fiend versus the Legend Killer would be one of the best payoffs I would.
Plus, then it kind of if you want to do a write off of Randy Orton, since he's been kind of clamoring for some of that vacation time at some point, you can almost do a match where like, not even cinematic, where like at first Randy's like, it seems like Randy's getting the better of the Fiend, but the Fiend just destroys him, and everyone's like, well, after all this time of him kicking Legends in the head, I kind of feel bad for Randy.
Well, I did see that they're promoting this match. I can't remember where it was, but with Bray Wyatt as Bray the character talking about this. Yeah, I was like, I don't.
Fox. It was on Fox.
It was on Fox, but it was like I was like, I just commented, I'm like, oh my God, how he can stay in character and do this so well.
Bray Wyatt,
it is so. I love it so much.
Is a guy that just
he's a genius. He gets it.
Just he took a character and he just said, you know what? Let's create layers. Let's not jump to a different character. He's taken it and he said, this is my legacy. So now let's make the legacy great.
And what's interesting is the Fiend really, so like I tell people all the time, there's a promo you can actually find on WWE's YouTube that he I think he made like 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay.
And he's just talking about the Thing in the woods, and he's walking around the woods, and it damn near perfectly describes the Fiend. So a lot of people, including myself, have been going, has he always had this character in the back of his head?
Right.
And I'm like, knowing Bray, I think he has had this character in the back of his head.
He even was on with ESPN. They were talking about cinematic matches.
Yeah.
And he was Bray again, and he was giddy like we were talking about the Undertaker AJ Styles. And I don't think we should do that much, but that was awesome. That was the bomb. I'm like, oh my God, yeah.
And by the way, I feel like we live in an era where everybody thinks you have to be the champion to be taken seriously. Go back to the last ride. Taker's not a 16-time champion.
No.
But Rick says he might be the greatest character of all time.
Oh, yeah.
So again, I don't think Bray needs to win the world title to be taken seriously. I don't think that's what needs to happen. Now, it's a situation where Braun happened to be the champion. It's a happy mistake.
Yeah.
I guess you could call it. But here's the deal. Bray Wyatt...
A mistake that they shouldn't have made for a Goldberg and Roman match that we never had.
That's fair. But no. What I'm saying is that Bray.
Oh, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off again.
No.
Did you guys see like Goldberg? I forget the guy's show, and he's still like trash talking Roman Reigns.
It's gonna.
I heard he's doing that. Yeah,
it's gonna happen at some point.
By the way, and then he said all this about how like. Well, I thought the fans booing me was bullcrap. It's like, well, now it's gonna be worse if they ever unmute us from this new Zoom thing.
It's also Bill. He understands.
I'm hoping this is just a promo.
Yeah.
I'm like, if this is him personally, I would be a little like, Bill?
I believe it is a promo because he is on contract with WWE
for 2 more years.
For 2 more years, and he has
2 matches a year. I think it is
2 or 3 matches a year he can do. So he's trying to, because he had him already this year, so he can't do anymore. Yep. So it has to push until the next year. So it works.
Well, and it's just, again, here's my thing. Goldberg is another. Okay, so Goldberg, in my opinion, was built as a guy where him being champion makes sense. Bray is not that guy. Bray's character doesn't scream championship.
They should, like I said, I agree.
No. If it happens, it happens. Undertaker, obviously, it happened a lot, but Undertaker didn't need to become a Grand Slam champion. Undertaker didn't need the Intercontinental title. He didn't need the United States title.
It happened.
Yeah,
I get your point.
But the occasional world title to sort of... Okay, so here's my thing. I'm not going to start an MJ versus LeBron argument here. I'm not. But I feel like 6 for 6, and sorry, 666.
Yeah.
6 titles, 6 appearances, 6 finals MVPs.
Yeah.
I feel like because of that, and by the way, this goes back to the influence of LeBron James. I feel like that has caused the entire world to focus on legacies being defined by rings.
Yeah.
Sam Jones, and I guarantee y'all don't know who I'm talking about. Sam Jones is second all-time in the NBA with rings. He was a guard for the Celtics
that's right.
back in the 60s.
Second all-time to, I believe, I want to say, was it Will who had 11? Or
It's Bill Russell.
Bill Russell, thank you.
But here's the deal. Nobody knows who Sam Jones is.
No.
He was there. He was good. He's probably a Hall of Famer because he has 10 rings.
Yeah.
But Sam Jones is not better than LeBron.
No.
And I think I'm getting that right. I think that's Sam Jones. But anyway, he's not better than LeBron. We all know that. He is not in any way better than this person, that person. My whole thing about this comes down. Okay, so Bill Russell's got 11.
When you look at it too, I watched a little video about they're talking about title reigns in WWE. Who has the most?
Yeah.
It's R-Truth.
Sam Jones.
Yeah, it's officially
with his 24/7, 36.
Got 30 now.
The only reason why Sam Jones doesn't have 11 rings is because he wasn't on the 57 Celtics team that Bill Russell won a championship on. So my biggest thing comes down to this, is that I look at the LeBron factor being that we are now in every sport defining you solely by championships. But yet, Sam Jones will never be in the same league as LeBron James. No one knows who Sam Jones is, but he's second all time with rings.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of dudes with 7 rings that were on all the Celtics that were Celtics in the 60s. Yep. But there were guys on the San Antonio Spurs teams. Some San Antonio Spurs guys got 4 rings. They were bench players.
Yeah.
They were just good bench players.
Oh yeah.
So my whole thing is that, again, you can get mad that Bray's only had the title once or twice and he had it for a little amount of time, but Bray doesn't need it.
No.
Bray doesn't have to be a champion
like I said,
for me to take Bray Wyatt seriously.
The biggest mistake was the whole feud with Seth Rollins. It should have been waited on.
No. That wasn't a mistake. The ending to Hell in a Cell was the mistake. Because remember, Bray had issue with Seth.
That's true.
And the Fiend was taking care of Bray's long-term feuds.
Yeah.
So I don't mind that was happened. They just booked it wrong.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion,
because also when he was champion, what was cool, what I liked, that I'm like, okay, this makes him a really cool character now if you do the championship ring right, was, remember, he did a feud with The Miz where he wrestled The Miz as Bray and won and still kept the championship. Because I always thought, like, well, if the Fiend wins, the way to take it off of him, especially if you're going to kind of do a random in-between thing, is to have Bray lose it.
Yeah.
Because clearly, it's supposed to be 2 different characters. And then sometimes those 2 characters actually conflict, as we've seen in the Firefly Funhouse before. So that's why tonight I'm like, taking the title off of Braun wouldn't be the worst thing, because it's not like it's been a good run anyway.
Yeah.
Really, you don't really have a lot of guys built up. So if you're gonna have a champion just plow through people, why not the Fiend? Because then maybe you can give some of these guys like a much needed character change. That's why another reason why I'm on the give Bray the championship bandwagon, just because it's easier in that sense, as far as you don't really have a guy on SmackDown right now besides maybe AJ, maybe Jeff, and right now they're in a really cool feud for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah.
So there's no problem with me with putting the title back on Bray.
Right. Anyway, so that's been sort of and okay. So now we move on to another part of Summer. We're not going to go through SummerSlam bit by bit by bit. Because we're going to recap it next week anyway.
Yeah.
Dominic Mysterio versus Seth. Any hopes for this?
I actually do. This is the only one where my questions are concerns. Not because I don't think Dominic can pull this off, and not because I don't think Seth can pull. Because if there's anyone that can bring a newer kid in and pull something decent out of him, it's Seth Rollins. Even though Seth, sometimes your Twitter game makes me think you're just a tool sometimes.
He's an expected father.
Hey, it changes you, trust me.
I hope it changes him for the better, because sometimes he'll speak his personal mind, and you're like, dude, please shut up.
Yes, it does change you. It does change for the better. I have to agree with it. It changed me for the better.
Good.
Yeah.
My hope is with Ray's somewhat extension, there's really no like years on it or anything like that. It's just an extension that WWE gave him.
Yeah.
I'm hoping something really, really cool comes out of it. But it's the only match on the card where I'm like, I think it's going to be good, but man, am I hesitant.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I'm a little nervous.
They're working on ring gear for him. It's kind of, I think it was a blue color or whatever. I don't know. It's influenced from his father, of course.
Yeah.
And then there was rumor, and they talked about that too, is Dominic going to get a mask to go with the name if he's going to do that? And I'm like, yeah, he could do that, but like Rey Mysterio Jr., he earned that mask.
True.
And that's why he got the mask. I mean,
and plus,
it was his uncle, wasn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, from his uncle.
Yeah.
But he earned it. I mean, if they're going to do it that way,
yeah.
I hope they do it that way, not just give him one, because we all know what he looks like.
It's so weird because we only saw Ray's face a couple times in WCW.
Once or twice. Yeah.
Like once or twice. So like it's so weird that when you guys were telling me about this, I was like, that's odd that they would give him a mask. And I get it. It's respecting the luchador style. It runs in his family.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I don't think that Ray's passing it down because I don't think Rey Mysterio is ever going to be seen in public without the mask. Because here's the deal.
No, he's not.
Here's the deal. Ray, look, we all know it's Oscar Gutierrez. Is it Gutierrez?
Gutierrez, yeah.
Something like that. But okay, we all know what Ray's real name is. But Ray is, look, there are luchadors famous in Mexico that were buried in the mask.
Yeah.
To this day, no one knows who they were once they put on the mask. But Ray, in my opinion, is one of those guys that because of the culture, Ray is one of the greatest luchadors of all time.
Oh, yes, he is.
He put him in a pantheon with any luchador from old Mexico. I mean, okay, Ray is as popular in Mexico as Gory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ray has reached Gory Guerrero level.
Yeah.
So is Eddie, in my opinion, but you know,
for sure.
But the thing is that Rey Mysterio Jr. in Mexico is still a hot topic. He's still a legend, and he's still beloved by that culture. So Ray, even though he lives in San Diego, and maybe he lives his daily life without the mask, I would understand that. I would also understand if for the rest of his time in his life, if Ray ever did anything public, even after he finally retires from 87 knee surgeries. I don't know how many it's been at this point. But anyway.
He can still go, though.
Yeah, no. But no, it's just Rey Mysterio will go to his grave believing he's Rey Mysterio. That mask is sacred to him. It's not a career for him. It's a life.
Yeah.
It's his life. Because again, at 14 years old, he started wrestling in a small church in Mexico. And he's reached the pinnacle that, you know, a lot of, you know, Latin star. Now, here's the deal. I don't give a damn if Ray only got to the world title because of Eddie's passing. Ray deserved it one way or another. I don't care how they get there. As long as you get what you deserve, I don't care how you get there. I don't. I'm sorry. Okay? But here's the thing. Ray, I don't think it would make sense to put a mask on Dominic because I don't think many people know that much about Ray. Because again, that WCW footage is available, but it's kind of buried in a way.
True.
It doesn't exist as easily as people think.
I remember it when it happened. I mean, I was watching it. You know, I was back and watching. I was like, and it shocked me. That they actually.
But here's the deal. Even though it happened, everybody still sees Ray as Rey Mysterio
with the mask.
They still see him with the mask. Nobody. Look, we know it happened.
I can see both. I know what he looks like without it.
Well, we all do. Mask, so, but here's the deal. You still, as soon as I say Rey Mysterio, you're going to the mask.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to Oscar Gutierrez. You're going to the mask.
It reminds me of him, like, boom, 6'9", popping out of, you know.
So, look.
That's what I think of.
I'm going to be honest. I don't know my expectations for this match. It's odd. I feel more odd about this than I did about Pat McAfee versus Adam Cole. Which is weird because Pat McAfee has no business in wrestling, but Dominic does.
Yeah.
So
he's becoming one. Yeah.
I'll be pleasantly surprised by it. We'll see what ends up happening.
With having Seth in it, I think that'll be the best part about it.
Sure. Seth's a great worker. So moving on to a topic I would like to get to. Back-to-back pay-per-views. Next Sunday is Payback. I remember Backlash always being the first pay-per-view after WrestleMania, but it was at least 4 weeks out.
Yeah.
So Payback is now in 7. And by the way, it's already been announced that Sasha and Bayley are going to defend the women's tag team titles.
This is the first time they've done this. Remember when they had Roadblock? So there was Elimination Chamber, and then Roadblock was on like a Thursday, like a week and a half later.
But Roadblock was a live event that they just turned into a big event because the story was Dean Ambrose threw his name in the ring to try to win the title before, you know, Triple H faced Roman. But anyway, no, here's my thing. I'm okay with it because of pandemic situation. I get it.
Actually, I'm okay with it because I've always hated the name Payback for a pay-per-view.
You just hate Payback.
I would love some payback.
Hey, I like payback when it's me getting paid back.
Yeah, exactly.
Paying somebody back.
But the thing is, I'm okay with it because here's the deal. Spot Monkey had Fight for the Fallen a week after they had.
That was weird.
What was the pay-per-view? Fighter Fest.
Fighter Fest
with a Y.
Yeah.
Fighter with a Y. Anyway. But no, I'm okay with it. It's going to give us a further Sasha and Bayley situation, which here's the deal. I don't want to talk about Sasha and Bayley tonight. I want to talk about the results of SummerSlam. Okay. That's where I want to get into Sasha and Bayley.
Here's a question I have. Who are they going to defend their title, the tag team titles against?
That's a great question.
Yet to be determined.
Yeah, I was like, but I'm trying to think anybody around. I'm like,
there's not a lot of the female tag teams around right now.
I mean,
they just redid the Riot Squad.
Yeah.
There's the Iconics.
Yeah, but
it looks like at this point Bliss and Cross are going to break up.
Yeah.
So I'm like, there's a couple of tag teams in NXT for the women, but
maybe they'll
Call me crazy. Natty and Lana?
Oh, if that happens, I will shake my head and laugh so hard.
But that's a Cameron Grimes situation. You know it is. You know it is. Their Instagrams are going to blow up like crazy if they win these things.
I'm going to do what you just did to me earlier. No.
Zach, if that does happen, I'm going to slap you. Or I'm going to tell your better half, hey, slap him for me because
put it on camera, like slap him.
Well, we can put it on
hard.
camera, but
no, they're irritating in a bad way. Like Cameron Grimes and Bayley and Sasha are irritating in the right ways. Yeah. They've only been back on TV for a week, and I'm like, why is this group?
It'll just be interesting who decide to put up. I mean, yeah, it depends on the outcome of their matches tonight, but the Friday night when they were, competing to see who was going to go first.
Yeah.
And I saw it they had a match. I was looking to see if they added or anything on for the matches. And boom, 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 they had all the matches on. And they had Bayley Asuka, the Raw title, done later.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that was the first time I actually seen that. And then, and maybe that's the reason why they did this on Friday night.
Yeah.
And seeing the reaction of the boss, kind of.
Well, she realized she wasn't defending first. Yeah,
giddy that they're. But
I
think
she did go and care for her friend afterwards.
Yes, she did.
Unlike Bayley, who was like real sneaky the rest of the night after that. Yeah, SummerSlam's going to be really good. Yeah, but who they face at Payback, I don't know. And what other matches are they really going to have for Payback? Are they going to get Raw Underground in on Payback?
I have no idea.
What the hell?
But I think it was really interesting after watching NXT on the network.
Is Retribution going to get revealed on
They showed the storyline of Bayley and Sasha during their NXT match that they had.
Yeah,
I thought that was
cool.
kind of fun to watch that afterwards with me and the kids.
That match is something that I don't know if you're going to be able to repeat it when they finally get one-on-one on the main roster, but damn if that match wasn't fantastic.
It was.
So moving on here, little somewhat sad news, but also some news that we want to wish someone well. Renee Young has officially been or said that she's quitting WWE.
I think she's doing Tonight Show and then she's
okay. All the first and foremost, can I just say all the best to her.
Absolutely.
I was never mad that Jon Moxley went and did what he did. I feel like other people in the business have people. Sean Spears and Peyton Royce are the prime example. No one cares about Sean Spears, so no one cares about Peyton Royce. Renee Young, in my opinion, with WWE. And I will say this. I don't think WWE knew what to do with her. And here's why. She is the female Mean Gene Okerlund. Without a doubt, that is not high praise. I think that is underselling how good she's been for them since day one.
Yeah.
Now, here's the deal. She is the first person I can actually think of off the top of my head that was such a star, that was such a unique character, and never got in the ring. Because remember, this is wrestling. Everyone gets in the ring at some point.
Yeah.
Corey Graves started in the ring, then he went to announcing.
Yep.
Michael Cole got in the ring. We all want to forget that. Michael Cole got in the ring.
That was very scary to see that.
But no, it's just here's my thing. She obviously Fox canceled her show with CM Punk and Christian and all that stuff. So I don't think WWE knew what to do with her anymore, which again is fair because what do you do with someone who isn't a wrestler you can't feature. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. In my opinion, you couldn't feature her enough because she was so good.
True.
Everything she did was fantastic. Talking Smack was great.
Yep.
Raw Talk was amazing. Her interview segments on Network were great. She was great backstage. She was great in the locker room. She was great. I don't necessarily think this is. I don't personally think this has anything to do with. And maybe we'll find out when she leaves. I don't think that it's because she announced she had COVID. I don't think WWE is mad about that.
I think it's just a career choice.
Well, and not only that, but it's like she even said she wanted to work for ESPN, and if I'm ESPN, I'm snatching her up in a heartbeat.
Well, Charlie part-time works for ESPN,
right.
So.
But that's my thing, and look.
Well, and they took the coach too.
Yeah,
so.
and look. Sure. I also look. I'm not saying that WWE made it hard for her because John was over there, but you have to think that would be a difficult thing to deal with.
Yeah. But I also read and said that she had some offers from other companies, for broadcasting to do that. And yeah, I mean, ESPN, she would be great for ESPN on the silent.
Yeah.
If she worked for Fox Sports somewhere or NBC Sports, I mean, I don't see her going as somebody, oh man, she's going to join John. I don't see her going there. I see her going and doing ESPN or something because it gives her more than just tunnel vision and one thing. It gives her a broader perspective.
I agree.
Renee is
a journalist.
So good at what she does.
Yeah.
And I will say this. I actually will call it a failure from the WWE of not finding something that worked. Because, by the way, backstage she killed it. She was actually a good. She got better as an on-air commentator.
The only problem that ever existed, I don't. It felt like, and it doesn't seem like they're that way off camera, but it felt like her and Corey just did not get along.
Well, Corey,
or it just didn't play.
Corey's supposed to mess with everybody.
But like the messing with her, it just didn't.
So anyway, we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Congratulations to her. Good luck wherever she goes. When we find out more information, we'll come back.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna get to the crux of something here. Jesse.
Before we get into that,
hurry up.
Did you guys get the chance to see the finals for New Japan?
USA Cup.
I
have not got a chance to see it yet.
Okay, so I'll just kind of spit it out real quick. Excellent show.
Is that on New Japan World?
It is on New Japan World.
Okay,
By the way, guys, $10 to go into the New Japan library a month. It's excellent. It's just excellent. We got Kenta winning. For those who don't know, Kenta is formerly
Hideo Itami.
Hideo Itami, thank you. In WWE. He is now currently the holder of what they do in Japan is it's a contract.
Yeah.
He can now have that contract up until, I think it's basically for a year.
Yeah.
He's already called out Jon Moxley, so it'll be interesting to see. There were some great matches, including my guy Jay White coming back, one of the best heels in the business. If you guys haven't gotten the chance to see it, go watch it.
Jay White, in my opinion, came into his own with Switchblade.
Oh, absolutely!
It was a great build.
27 years old.
The baby face look was okay when he faced Tanahashi.
Yeah.
Because Tanahashi is obviously a very clean-cut looking competitor. But I don't think it made him, and this is why I think they put the belt on him too quick.
Yeah.
It made sense story to give him the belt.
Yeah.
The problem is that I don't think that New Japan got behind the Gaijin.
Yeah, I don't think the fans originally kind of got behind the reasoning why, even though it was the right time.
Well, the problem is that Japan is different from WWE in the sense that here's the deal: the fans over there, they like a face champion.
Yes,
over here, heels are always a better champion. Always, 100%.
Walk
away.
Drew is the first time, which is why Drew is so popular with us now. It's the first time you see a face champion that's not an idiot.
Right. Yeah, basically. But that's my thing. Is that I think Jay White, now that he's grown the facial hair, it literally was that simple.
And now he's kind of changed his character. So part of his character, he calls himself King Blade.
Yeah.
So he kind of presents himself in like an arrogant Triple H way.
Bullet Club, or is that Tama?
No, he's still in Bullet Club. So he's actually still considered the de facto leader of Bullet Club. And they actually in this episode of New Japan Strong, because they brought Hikuleo back, who had been on excursion, but also he actually had not been able to wrestle, of course, because of COVID.
Yeah.
he brought him back in because they wrestled Brody King and Flip Gordon, which, by the way, people, if you've never watched Flip Gordon, go pay that $10. He's worth just paying the $10 for this month for. 100%. Kevin Kelly kind of alluded to the fact that, you know what, I bet you he brought Evil in. Yeah. Because Evil had new music within a week of turning. Yeah. Evil had new wardrobe within a couple of days. Yeah. So, it's very, very interesting.
And Japan is doing well.
They're doing cool, especially since they can't bring all their guys back. They're doing really cool stuff right now.
But that's my thing, is that, once again, this is Jon Moxley with a U.S. title, never defends the damn thing, but obviously...
Not since Wrestle King, New Year's Dash against Minoru Suzuki, which was a hell of a match.
Loved it. But no, it was a great tournament, had a lot of great people. Chase Owens, I've actually really grown fond of Chase Owens.
He's grown so much in the last 2 years.
He is the only guy, in my opinion, and no offense to anyone else, but he is the only guy that I think Bullet Club has made him. Yes. Other guys were made before Bullet Club. Everyone knew Carl Anderson before Bullet Club. Everybody knew Prince Devitt, Finn Balor before Bullet Club. Bad Luck Fale, everyone knew him before Bullet Club. They all elevated Bullet Club. Bullet Club has elevated Chase Owens to a good place. Yes. I've enjoyed his work since he got with Bullet Club.
Absolutely.
Obviously, you have the Tonga brothers in there.
Oh, yeah.
Tama Tonga, New Japan, do not F this up. If you finally choose to go with him as the champion, please give him a long, sustained run. He is so...
He's almost 40 now. I hope they pull the trigger on him.
Tanahashi's like 45.
I know, and they'll put a championship on him in a minute.
Tanahashi will be wrestling when I'm 90.
Oh, my God.
I'll be celebrating my 50th, and Tanahashi will be putting another brick in the Tokyo Dome. Good God. Tanahashi.
They love this. It's like if people were like, yo, Hogan, like if there was never a time people were like, yo, Hogan, you need to stop. That's New Japan and Tanahashi like that. And Minoru Suzuki's 53. It's still putting out really good matches. So it's. For those who didn't get the chance, if you guys don't mind, I'll just run through the tournament.
Please.
It started with Carl Fredericks versus Kenta, which was a really good match. Carl Fredericks used to be one of the young lions. He finally graduated. He's got a cool new cocky character. Basically a heel. They had a really good match. Kenta, deservingly so, got the win. Jeff Cobb, Tonga Loa. Tonga, of course, is a little bit younger than Tama. For those who don't know about the Gorillas of Destiny, also get New Japan because that's one of the best tag teams in the world. And you should be watching their library. They're excellent. Jeff Cobb.
Their theme music gets me hyped every time.
I bump it in my car.
It's so good. It's so good. I love it.
Jeff Cobb got the win. This is the first round. David Finlay, for those who don't know, this is one of Finlay's younger sons.
Yeah.
And he's an excellent professional wrestler. He's about me and your age now, about 30, 31. He was kind of like, he was cool. He was a cool story in this tournament because he's an underdog. There's, when I saw the bracket, I'm like, there's no way in hell he's getting out the first round with Chase Owens. Yeah. But they actually had a really great match. Felt like it went longer, but David got the win there. Yeah. Brody King had a hell of a match with Tama Tonga where he just dominated. But of course, Tama is the veteran, so Tama found a way to get that shot in and got the win. Yeah. Of course, second round, Kenta versus Jeff Cobb. Kenta with the heel win. Kenta the balls, rolls him up when Kenta isn't looking.
Kenta going back to Japan was
the best thing he could, because he kept getting injured here, and that was the problem.
It wasn't even the injury thing. Well, no, 100% it's injury, but the problem was over here. Injuries over here because Kenta wasn't built here. Yeah. It hurt Hideo Itami.
Yes.
It just kept making him lesser and lesser and lesser. But over there, Kenta gets hurt. They know who Kenta is.
Yeah.
And by the way, I don't think Kenta holds any issue.
I think he said in an interview, because he praises Triple H all the time. Thank you for bringing me here. I got the chance to experience it. But Kenta gets a hell of a heel win. I love when they have the Red Shoes dynamic of like somebody pokes Red Shoes. No, when you watch a main event, Red Shoes does not DQ Jack, baby. It's very rare he does. I love Red Shoes.
We're gonna be delving into New Japan when the G1 tournament starts. So
which is gonna be
we'll bring you back on for
David Finlay got the win over Tama Tonga in a huge upset. That was 2 weeks ago. It was a fun match to watch, and it was a well-told story.
But as you already pointed out, Kenta won the whole thing. It makes sense, though, that Kenta beats David Finlay in a heelish way because now it's Bullet Club going for another title.
Yeah.
And again, Bullet Club versus Bullet Club, I don't want to see it right now.
Yeah.
No.
Well, unless it's to kick Kenta out. There's no reason to put Tama versus Kenta.
One of the huge things they're building, if you watch them in Japan as well, is they're building like a Bullet Club taking over deal.
Would that have been an OG versus current Bullet Clubs?
Actually, most of them, in a sense, but most of them are all OG. So since...
Is Kenta new? Well... Yeah, okay, Kenta's new.
Because Kenta was recruited basically, because when Kenny and those guys left, it's just basically been Bullet Club.
Yeah.
But it was basically when Jay White was finally the leader, it felt like, oh man, this is old school Bullet Club. Where they interfere in all the matches. Yeah. Like, now it's like really cool.
They were messing up the G1.
Oh yeah, mess up the whole tournament. Like, cool stuff.
But anyway, no, I'm looking forward to Kenta versus John Moxley.
Whenever it happens.
Yep.
Hopefully within the next couple months.
Yep. We'll see what ends up happening there. So anyway, we're gonna get to something.
Not to the fun stuff.
Yeah, now to the fun stuff.
I think this is the first time we've ended the show with this.
And we're not gonna go long because I don't have a long question for Jesse. And actually, part of my confusion is also praise, and I'll explain in a second.
Okay.
So AEW is now on only for a little while. They're switching to the NBA. They had a Saturday night show that ran opposite NXT Takeover.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. Why is Brody Lee the TNT champion? For a number of reasons. Number one, it wasn't built for that long. But yet I'm supposed to just be okay with the fact that Cody, again, presentation. Cody's beaten everybody. He's beating them handily almost. He's being competitive. It's going great. And then he gets squashed by Brody Lee? Brody Lee couldn't win a tag team title match early on. He couldn't win a freaking 8-man tag team match
and then I'm gonna hop
in the Dark Order. But all of a sudden Brody Lee squashes Cody. Now, okay, Thomas Bug.
I have the same question too.
Bug did point out to me this would be, okay. If you focus on it as Cody now has to fight from underneath to get back, I get that. But again, presentation was Cody was going heel. But now Cody's the sympathetic guy? What?
So can I explain it to you guys?
Yes.
Because I still believe Cody is going heel. I think here's why they did this. And I've gotten the chance
But Brody Lee has no correct. Brody Lee can't carry the TNT title by himself.
I'm shuffling papers like a professional because I cannot wait to do this.
All right. I'm ready.
So it makes.
I like it because it was a surprise, and B, perhaps it's a long-term booking thing with Cody. And Cody's always tried to make his shit serious.
Here's why it makes sense. So Brody's new thing since. By the way, because every new guy they brought in has lost to John Moxley, which is almost bad booking when it first starts. But whatever, I'm past it.
Yeah, fair.
But Brody's least thing since has been to destroy the Elite. To have the Dark Order absolutely, including Brandy, which we got to see at the end of the night, destroy the Elite. Destroy the Rhodes family, destroy Kenny, destroy the Bucks, destroy Hangman. That's been his thing. It's been building for actually a couple of weeks. Yeah. So they've gotten involved. Here, let me finish.
Yeah, but it was so mid-card. It's such a mid-card thing. But
it feels mid-card because it always happens in the middle of the damn show instead of the end.
That's fair. That's fair.
So when he challenged him 2 weeks ago, I said, I'm like, unless this is a screwy finish where this match happens at all out or all in.
All in. Yeah.
I've never remembered what it's called anymore. I'm like, unless there's a screwy finish. I'm like, Cody's getting his ass whooped and losing his title. Now, there was a lot of diehards that were like, no, I think Cody will get the win because that's all he's been doing.
4 minutes.
He destroyed 7, but he destroyed. Or was it 4? It might have been 4.
It was 4 minutes.
That's including
the introduction.
I enjoyed because basically it started off with. Yeah,
4.5 including the introduction.
Cody started hot.
Yeah.
And the story basically was because
Cody hot. How do you start hot?
Well, because he went after him right away. He got under his skin, but as soon as he pissed him off, match over.
But the problem for me is that pissing him off would have worked better if he was Luke Harper, not Brody Lee.
Well, here's why it works to me. So you talked about the tag match where they lost to the Elite.
Yeah.
Remember, he didn't get pinned.
Fair.
That was John Silver, who, by the way, if people forget, he beat the hell out of when they lost the match. So he's always hated the fact when they lost to the Elite.
But my point is this. And
I love this. You guys have no idea.
No.
By the way, afterwards, what Zach didn't get on was, which he should have made you two happy, was they finally let What's-Her-Face choke out Brandy Lee.
Oh, no.
I saw that. I read that. I was like, holy crap.
I'm not focusing on the continuation of attacking the Elite. That's not what I'm focused on. And again, I'm not here to bash it. I'm only giving facts is that it was only 4 minutes. That's a fact.
Yeah.
I'm also giving a fact that, again, my only issue with the show is how they present people, and then it's a swerve. Why does everything have to be an instant swerve?
No, I don't think this one was fully like the fact that he got the fact that he got beat up so badly kind of was.
He got squashed.
But only reason I didn't mind it was because here's how you still do the heel turn. Because now he's like, well, damn. Brody Lee has been right this whole time. He said I didn't have friends in the Elite, which, by the way, they did not come out to help him again.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
He also, remember, one of the first things Brody Lee told Cody was, you're doing too much, and now it's going to cost you.
Okay, this is the only thing I have left to say on the whole thing. And I'm not trying to stop you because I'm losing. I'm just going to say this. If it's Cody doing Cody,
yeah,
I will 100% come back and I will eat crow on this whole thing. And I'll admit that I'm
about to say, All Out will be interesting because I think these two are going to have a rematch at All Out.
But my problem is that Cody tries to present his shit seriously. Whether or not he gets it right is irrelevant because A, we know you're not your father.
True.
Like no one's your dad. No one is.
No.
Number one.
Oh my God.
But the thing is that I don't understand why the Bucks are so out in left field with how they book everything.
True.
And Cody is so calculated. He's so calm about it. Cody's shit is serious.
Yes, absolutely.
And it stays serious.
Yes.
But my problem is that if it's just Cody booking Cody, then I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
But if it's the Bucks having more of a say than Cody, then we all know it's just going to turn into some hokey-tokey bullshit.
And I
know that.
Which is why I believe this whole thing it's a Cody idea for sure.
Which again, to all of you people out there who think I'm just going to bash it, if it's Cody, I am looking forward to this continuing. But
because
my problem
I see a heel turn coming off of this because he's going to realize, because I think they're going to do the rematch at All Out. And
but why does every heel turn in the Elite have to involve a title? That's what I don't get. They're holding the tag team titles hostage on a tag team that, by the way, at first, whoa, they're together or whatever.
And it works story-wise. I agree.
Hold on. Let me explain your AEW World Tag Team Champions for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
It's, hey, they're put together, okay, interesting, whatever. No one expects much of it because they're not a legit tag team. The Best Friends would have been a better option.
Very true.
Then they're a tag team that has issues. Okay, Kenny Omega's straight edge, Hangman's a drunk, whatever. Now,
good story,
now all of a sudden they're cool. They have all their shit together. Everyone's okay. They're meshing after weeks of messing up. Now they're together. There's no explanation to why all of a sudden they're cool, but they're back together. And now there's another. Seriously. If the turn was gonna happen on Omega, should have been minimum 1 month ago.
Probably.
You have drug. I don't care anymore because you have gone 200 days where they've gone back and forth. Okay, here's the deal. Sasha and Bayley has at least been interesting.
Oh, God, yes.
It has at least kept my attention. Whether or not I've been pissed off or otherwise, it's kept my attention.
Yeah.
These two, I don't care anymore because at this point
it's been schizophrenic.
Because at this point, where is it going to come from? Because here's the deal. You had your issues, and then 2 weeks later, you have no issues. You're a well-oiled machine. Everything's great. And then all of a sudden, I'm supposed to believe out of nowhere, more issue. What?
It's been.
What is happening?
Yeah, that's been schizophrenic. So when it comes to the tag team stuff with Hangman,
any of them,
well, the Young Bucks
they beat up Trent's mom's van for Christ's sake.
That was wait. I thought that was the Inner Circle. I think that was the Inner Circle.
I don't care who it was. They beat up a van for crying
out
out
loud. That was
loud.
the Inner Circle, and that actually made sense because it led to a match.
Fair.
But as far
No,
as
it don't make sense.
as far as the Young Bucks side of the Elite, which is so schizophrenic, I'm with you. But
They're
the Cody stuff has actually made sense.
The only reason why I am reserving judgment on.
I was gonna say let's wait till All Out just to see.
No, that's fair. But here's the deal. Back to the Word of the Day presentation. I even presented this to you as not, hey, let me tell you why I hate this. I presented it as I'm confused.
Yeah.
So now with that,
yeah.
I'm going to leave the show almost on a cliffhanger, but I'm going to leave the show with this. I'm okay as long as it's Cody's shit.
Yeah, I agree.
If it's Cody's shit, I'm okay with it because
agree.
you know what? Even though Cody is not reaching the level of Dusty booking, he's still better than these two midget dudes who can't book a freaking tag team division. I'm okay with these school children keeping their schizophrenic bullshit away from Cody. But if it becomes hokey, I'm going to call you out on it. I'm going to bring you on this show, and I'm going to call you out on it.
If it becomes hokey, I will, not only will I eat the crow, but you know me, I'll go off on it.
Okay.
But right now,
we're in the kitchen. We can cook it in here.
Yeah.
A nice seasoning and all
right
that.
Now with Cody and Brody Lee, and by the way,
I will definitely record that.
All right, that's fair.
From behind the scenes, one of you guys are going to eat crow, and I'm going to record it.
The transformation of the Dark Order has actually been really. It's the best faction they have.
My only problem, first of all, they have like 9 of them. And the bar's
not
high.
Now they do, but...
And the bar's not high.
Well, but...
It's about right here.
The way the Dark Order started,
the bar is shorter than Leroy.
The way the Dark Order started, though, was terrible.
Yeah, fair.
So where it is now is much better. Like I said, I actually really love this stuff because I think it's also going to lead not only to a heel turn, but him going, hey, Jericho, I run the company as a heel now. Like, I'll go get the championship if I want to. Okay. So I actually do think there's things coming.
Hold on. Leroy, if that happens... I will actually tune in and enjoy AEW, and I will give them back their Christian name, All Elite Wrestling. Right now they're still Spot Monkey. But the thing about it is,
no, we can still call them Spot Monkey.
That's fair. But the thing about it is that Jesse, I right here, I am making a solemn vow and promise as a wrestling fan. But if it turns and there's a swerve,
trust me, I'll eat.
You're gonna sit here. You're gonna eat that shit.
I know.
Because the thing about it is that you have no precedence that it's gonna turn out right.
That's true.
You don't have anything.
That's true.
And all you out there are listening to this, I got a front row seat to this shit.
But what I do have, like I said, my biggest hope is that Cody has been in full control of all his stories. Yeah. So that's why I think and with partially in charge of the Dark Order journeying as well. Yes. So I have hope in him that he understands because
I have hope in him, Arn, and Tully. I've got hope in those 3. I ain't got hope in
they
the
finally
Elite.
They turned because remember FTR is now just a full heel tag team with Tully by their side. Yeah. Actually, I think at the end of the match, Shawn Spears actually came out and joined them. So the faction is built.
Okay.
So, like I said, there's something there.
Rumor of 4 Horsemen with FTR.
Yep.
Yeah. And with Cody as the new leader because Tully finally gets his ear away from Arn Anderson.
I'm okay with
that. Like I said, I do believe good things are coming there.
And
I cannot defend the tag team division because there's great tag teams. And yet the story with Hangman and all that is still schizophrenic. Even though I love Hangman,
220 plus days.
They have to lose those titles at all.
They've been look. They're having a New Day style run, but they ain't New Day.
No.
Okay.
And they have to lose those titles soon.
They're 2 singles guys who got tossed together, and for some reason the Bucks think the best way to create a heel turn involved the titles.
And one thing on the show, guys, the answer, and I'm excited about it for All Out because you've created a really awesome match.
Yeah.
But it's not bringing in Thunder Rosa because you have failed to build your women's division.
Yep.
Yeah.
At some point, NWA is going to start back up. She's going to go back.
Yeah.
They're in the process. Yeah. ROH is starting up.
ROH, yes. I think in the beginning of September. At some point, they're all going to go back.
And by the way, we're not bashing Thunder Rosa.
No, she's excellent. That's going to be a great match. And she'll probably win the title. Yeah. But then you put a title on her, and she's going to go back to NWA.
Well, but remember, NWA's pre-tape, she can still do one live night a week.
That's true.
But my problem is that you have not built this division, Kenny. You just keep bringing in more women, and you think that's going to fix the problem. You haven't built any. Hikaru Shida is actually really good, but I don't care about Hikaru Shida because she's in the damn audience with her belt. Put her in the ring.
Hey, you want to know the most annoying part to me, and this is why anyone who actually even likes AEW, like any of the other critics, will also criticize them for the women's division. Is this? You've been doing a good job of building Swole and Abaddon, but you know who watches Dark? Guys like me, guys like the guys from Wrestle Talk. You don't get a lot of views on it, so we're happy to see Abaddon get a push. We're happy to see Big Swole get built to eventually probably beat Britt Baker and get that. Yeah. Do it on TNT! Do it on TNT!
Turner Network Television has given you 2 hours of live national TV.
I'm not going to go in on the women's division because I'll have a damn convulsion.
Okay.
But it's got to be better. But the rest of the show I thought was okay.
Okay.
Having Eddie Kingston now actually combined.
But I like Eddie Kingston. But here's the deal. Just let Eddie be Eddie. Don't write anything for him.
And I watched that promo.
No.
I watched that promo
and I
with
agree.
the
But
it was good.
That was a good
here's my
promo,
problem.
yes.
We've talked about positives going forward.
Yeah.
The Bucks can't help but eventually put the wink, nudge, wink in everything.
I hope that I'm hoping they don't because Eddie came out for for people who don't watch AEW but don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, it's out there on Facebook. I saw the promo.
Yeah. So Eddie Kingston came out after
and he united the Lucha Brothers and the
Butcher, which is awesome because
yes.
I'm like these four combined are going to do some damage because right now they can't really do the triangle thing because Pac is still stuck in the UK, so they can't do it.
But it's just okay. And we're gonna leave it on this. I am hopeful if Cody stays away from the bullshit that Matt and Nick can't help themselves but to do. If you ever watch Being the Elite, their YouTube show, they are so into this being about comedy. They can't help themselves. I'm not saying that I'm a better pro wrestler, but I'm saying that if I were given the opportunity that they were given to book, I would make sure that I was trying to build anything close to what Austin and Rock were.
Yeah.
I would try. I know I'm not going to get there, but I'm going to try.
Yeah.
I'm going to create people. I would take Eddie Kingston and I would squeeze the last probably 5 years he's got in this business out of him, and I would make a star out of Eddie Kingston because no one in that company has come off more real than Eddie Kingston. No one. And Eddie Kingston's had 2 shots on TV.
Oh yeah.
But
I love him.
But it's just
and I'll say this: the MJF and John Moxley stuff actually has been very good. I did like the 2 promos.
Couple of little tweaks, but now I'm nitpicking, and I don't want to.
I'm actually excited for the match at All Out, which I do believe MJF is
so
winning.
what I'm going to end on is I'm okay with what this whole conversation began at, being the Cody situation.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm okay if for once, and it will be the first time in AEW history, and you've been on TV for 10 months, boys.
And we got this recorded, man, so it's proof.
It'll be the first time that something serious was teased and then happened.
Yeah.
Everything with the Young Bucks has to be wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Hey, everybody, we're just here having a good old Grand Opry time. If you can stay serious for one segment, I will give you a chance longer.
Absolutely.
But I'm losing my patience, not because I think it's crap, not because I don't enjoy some of the crazy stunts that they do.
You've almost lost hope in how they can build a future.
I'm losing hope because here's the deal. You have to convince a whole new group of TNT executives that you're going to give them ratings.
Yeah.
And by the way, guys, as much as I love and as much as some of my heroes in life have been comedians, comedy only gets you so far.
True.
Are we going to leave it at that?
And
We'll say goodbye.
Yep, no, we'll say goodbye.
All right. Hey, I want to thank everybody for listening.
Thank you.
I'm going to do this, end this. Why not? Because it sounds fun. Watch us. Look at Podomatic. We're on YouTube. The old episodes, I got a few more up there. iTunes, Spotify. Listen to us.
28
and
subscribers now on YouTube.
Yes.
28.
We need more. Definitely. And a teaser for later. Yes, we are going to go Facebook Live eventually. Not going to let you know when it happens.
Yep.
But thank you for having me in the kitchen here again, Zach. I loved it. Jesse, glad to have you here again.
Thank you for having me.
We'll do it again.
We'll have him back.
I'll definitely be back.
And everybody, enjoy SummerSlam tonight, because that's what we're going to do next. I'm going to make dinner and watch SummerSlam with my sons.
Yep.
We'll talk to you later. Have a good one. We'll see you next week.
Yep. Signing off.